la vraie paix. Il faut croire vraiment qu'on y arrive, puisqu'à Volubilis, cette ville romaine dressée en plein Maroc, les missions scientifiques ont repris leurs fouilles, arrêtées en 1939. Déjà, la cité au nom poétique a livré à la pioche des chercheurs de nouvelles richesses archéologiques.
My ancestors would say, if you open the eyes of a blind man, he wants to go back to the darkness. Today, my country is known as the Protectorat Français au Maroc, but to those of us native to the land, we call it Al-Mamlaka Al-Maghribiya Sharifah. Welcome, investigators, to Morocco in the 1930s. A land of ancient history, cultured cities, and unbound wilderness. A place where people from all walks of life converge, seeking wealth, freedom, and adventure. But the natural splendor and dazzling cities are fraught with peril and oppression. As uncertainties loom over Europe with the advent of the Third Reich, political factions vie for power and influence over the Protectorate, its resources, and strategic location. The political powder keg set to explode is just the beginning. Thousands of years ago, unholy cosmic entities, Nug and Yeb, influenced the minds and bodies of two human twins. Those blessed twins would serve as harbingers and vessels for the blasphemous twins' arrival on Earth. In the darkest corners of the Maghrib, the blessed and the blasphemous are sought out by antagonists. A cloak and dagger cabal operates behind the curtains to harness cosmic power for their own sinister desires. The Third Reich's occult think tank threatens humanity as they create unholy abominations and war machines, combining the supernatural with pseudoscience. Investigators, I call upon you to unravel these mysteries and set forth on a journey to save humanity, or perish trying. Form alliances with locals and expatriates on this campaign to save the world, spanning several years and cities, taking you from North Africa's highest peaks to its lowest depths. Traverse the harsh wilderness of Morocco's Atlas Mountains for lost knowledge that will come at a price to those who seek it. Rub shoulders with the movers and shakers of Casablanca and partake in its high society, then uncover horrible secrets of the city's underbelly. Discover powerful artifacts once thought to be lost, in hopes they may provide insight and salvation. Battle powerful foes, armed with arcane knowledge and sophisticated technology, who seek the desolation of others. Race against time and adversaries to a mystical lost city, hidden far from human eyes, where cosmic harbingers of the end await. Sons of the Singularity, in association with Chaosium, presents another epic chapter in its Call of Cthulhu series, The Blessed and the Blasphemous, Intrigue and Cosmic Horror in French North Africa, 1938 to 1941.
Hey, doing folks, good evening. How's everybody doing? It's 9-something o'clock, at least here in this part of the world, whereas for some of these folks, it's a very, very different period of time. For some, it's like super early in the morning, because we have quite the international crowd here assembled for this one shot of our very special Call of Cthulhu partnership with the friends over at the Sons of the Singularity, playing one of their scenarios from their campaign, which just got launched on Kickstarter, called The Blessed and the Blasphemous. As you guys just saw from the video, they just launched it. It looks extremely cool, and I am more than happy and honored to have been given the chance to give you guys a taste of this extremely engaging and very interesting scenario as part of the campaign as a whole. Arrayed around me are some relatively familiar faces and some brand new faces to Slices and Dices. More than happy to introduce you to them one by one. We're going to go in a circle, although this is completely set up like a Brady Bunch squares of sort of kind of deal. So I'm just going to start to my left, the lady playing Voira de la Vega. Voira de Vega, sorry. And that's Julie. Julie, where can people find you on the internet?
Hi guys, I'm Brit, still on Discord. You can see me hanging out there usually because I work too much. Other than that, yeah, come on Discord, chat.
Fantastic. Thank you, Julie. Moving on down to the person directly below Julie, a brand new face to the channel. Very happy to have the chance to work with this gentleman, and that is Arn. Arn, where can people find you on the internet?
Well, I'm on most of the major socials, and you can also find me on YouTube, where I play Alien RPG with my friends, or at least I torture them with it. So join me there.
Oh, you are a man of very close to my heart. I'm so happy that I have been an absolute consumer of your YouTube videos. I'm very, very happy to have you on the channel. Amazing scenic detail. Folks, if you haven't checked out his videos, go ahead and check them out. Where on the internet can they see these videos, Arn? In YouTube?
That would be youtube.com/@Iradonian, and I think that should be right below me.
Yes, it's in the top right-hand corner of your little thing. So @Iradonian. Check it out on YouTube. Very, very cool stuff. To Arn's direct right, we have also a newcomer, to Slices and Dices, and that is Tom. Tom, where can people find you on the internet?
Hello. I guess the main thing would be Twitter, which I believe my tag is on the screen somewhere around me, Jevons_Tom. I'm also on Discord. I'm on your channel. And I'm not the double of Pat Moran. I am just myself.
You've got a very voluminous and very imposing beard. I'm going to be saying that, you and he have to, we're going to have like an all beard, except for me because I can't grow any facial hair. We could do in like an all beard one shot. So we could get you, we could get Patrick, we could get Ben, anyone else with a beard. I don't think
you just need a good makeup artist.
Yeah, just have Sarah with just a big fucking fluffy white thing on her face. I'm down for it. It'll work.
That would be awesome.
Amazing.
She can hold one of her cats up there the whole
time. Oh my god, yes! Just the whole time, her cat would be like, "What the hell are you doing, Sarah?" Yes, absolutely, 100% correct.
I'm going to hold you to that, Matt.
I will. Listen, I'm writing it down, and when I write it down, it becomes reality. So we're making it happen. Make it so. Thank you, Tom. To your direct right on screen, another new face, but one who's been quite the imposing force in chat for quite a while now. Am I wrong there?
Me? No, I'm not an imposing force.
Absolutely not. Absolutely. Yeah, Little Ozboy playing one of our characters tonight in tonight's one shot. You want to tell us where we can find you on the internet?
All right, you can actually find me on Twitter under the @name of @OzGamer, capital O, capital G, on Twitter. I do have another one, but that one's all my private stuff. I don't want anyone to find me on that one.
Hey, listen, you do what you got to do. It's fine. We all have things that we want to.
Exactly.
That's cool. Super. And then finally, directly to the right of me, this guy over here, Ben. Ben, where can people find you on the internet?
You can usually find me on the Slices and Dices Discord as Ironhead454, and under the same name, you can also find me on TikTok.
My God, the TikToks, they are coming. Right. Social media, it's such a weird place to find yourself on, and it's funny. My son the other day said, "So do Slices and Dices have a TikTok?" I go, "Well, not yet," and he goes, "Don't, Dad. Don't."
Oh no, we need to.
I think we might have to just to mess with it. We have a YouTube channel, so we're already in with the cool kids, because that's where everybody goes nowadays. But yeah, TikTok, who knows? We're coming for you. It's the next big step in our ascent to godhood. Speaking of ascents to godhood, it's time to play Call of Cthulhu, where we're going to meet some of these fine figures and players. The year is 1939. The place, Casablanca, Morocco. That's where we're going to set our scene in tonight's scenario of the Blessed and the Blasphemous campaign. This scenario is called Le Dossier Mönch. What that means, hopefully you'll find out during tonight's session. As we begin, and let me just put on some music, and hopefully this will work. It didn't work the other night, but who knows? All right, here we go. So imagine, if you will, of course, a blistering heat which pervades this desert oasis, this city on the port of the Mediterranean Sea, Casablanca. The port of Casablanca, of course, is the major avenue of trade for the Middle East, extending into northern Africa and beyond. The 5 of you are currently in Casablanca. You know each other for various reasons, or perhaps know of each other, but mainly for the main reason that all 5 of you have been connected to each other through a single person who you have had contact with in the past. And this individual's name is Enrique Shokotencatl. Enrique Shokotencatl is a man of South American descent, and he has been tasked with a very important post, which is a post to the French Foreign Legion. As you guys may or may not know, the French Foreign Legion was a very powerful force in early 1930s Europe, and was used primarily, obviously, by French colonists and their forces to appropriate certain areas in the Middle East and put them under a variety of sort of military and jurisdictional controls. So in that way, the French Foreign Legion was extremely important to the stability of French-controlled Morocco, which at the time it currently is. The 5 of you have received a note, a missive, a telegram of sorts. And I'm going to showcase that on the screen right now. All of you have that as a handout in Roll20 currently. So let me just move you all to that screen. And I'm going to blow it up for those of you in chat giving it a watch. And that is a French missive, a French invitation. And my French is absolutely horrendous, so I'm going to ask any of our relatively native French foreign speakers. I'm very gifted to have at least one of you who speaks French, to go ahead and do us the honor of reading this in French.
Légion étranger, honneur et fidélité. Chers messieurs et madame, monsieur Henrique Shokotencatl de la Légion étrangère française a l'honneur de vous inviter à un banquet célébrant sa récente promotion au grade d'officier commissionné de sous-lieutenant. L'événement aura lieu dans le grand hall de l'hôtel transatlantique le 5e octobre à 19h30. Votre présence sera très appréciée. Bien à vous, Enrique. And I'm not gonna try.
That's okay. No, I mean, you did a friggin' stellar job of reading like 99% of everything else, and me and my, vast American knowledge wouldn't even take a stab at the immense talent that you just put forth in the last 45 seconds. So good on you, Arn. Now, all 5 of you have received this note. Some of you read French, some of you know French, some of you do not. And now it is time for the first roll of the game. Those of you who have the French language skill in your skill sheet can make a French language roll to translate this, of course, into what we'd assume to be English. That's a failure from Maaz, a success from Saeed. Anyone else have French? Ooh, Voira de Vega. Absolute extreme success. Anyone else? Jonathan Quayle? Failure for Jonathan. And Felix? Do you have French?
It says own. I'm guessing I am.
Yes,
French,
your own. Yes, absolutely. Your own is French.
And
yes.
my own.
You just barely made it. 49 to 50. So here is what it says in English for those of us who are French challenged. It says, "Salutations. Mr. Enrique Jocotencatl of the French Foreign Legion is honored to invite you to a banquet celebrating his recent promotion to the commissioned officer rank of second lieutenant. The event will take place in the Great Hall of the Hotel Transatlantique, October 5th, 1939 at 7:30 p.m. Your presence is greatly appreciated. Thank you, Enrique Jocotencatl." Now, there comes a time at every point in a scenario where you need to understand how much luck you're all going to get, because your characters did not come with luck. So, to roll luck, or at least earning luck, you're going to need to determine how much luck that you get in game. And we're going to go ahead and each of you are going to roll 3d6 and multiply the result by 5. When you do that, it'll determine how much luck you get. Then you go into your sheet, hit the edit mode button on the top right hand corner, and put that luck amount in. I'm going to give you a caveat though tonight. Normally people just blow their luck on something. They're like, oh, I'm going to throw 25 points of luck in. I'm going to only allow you to spend 10 points of luck at a time. Keep that in mind. So go ahead and roll 3d6, multiply by 5, and that will be the number of luck points that you get. Some of you seem to be more skilled in this whole, like, roll 20 thing. I'm seeing, like, equations, 3d6 times 5. Okay, so everybody should have now their amount of luck. Go ahead and, as I said, go into your character sheet and put your luck number in. You guys can just call them out, how much luck you each got individually. Felix looks like you got 60 points of luck. Tom looks like you got 50 points of luck. Voira, you got 70 points of luck. Good gracious. Ben, you only got 30 points of luck, it looks like.
We're starting out good.
Hey, it's okay. And Arn, looks like you got 55 points of luck. Is that
Yes, 55.
correct? Okay. Beautiful. All right.
Oh wait, it's times 5.
It is times 5.
I'm just making sure I've got that it added up correctly.
Absolutely, no worries.
It did. Good. All right.
Cool.
Am I done?
All right. So the night of October 9th, 1939 arrives, and the 5 of you individually make your way to the Hotel Transatlantique. For you, Jonathan, it's an easy walk because you work there.
I do.
Indeed you do. So you are able to stylishly walk into the dinner hall. And so I'm going to change us, sort of fade out the Oasis music and bring us into an elegant dinner party. Let's introduce you all individually one at a time, as if a camera was watching you as you walked through a beaded curtain into this elegant dinner party. Jonathan, I'd say, of course, being the fact that you are, as I said, one of the people who works at the Hotel Transatlantique. What do people see when they see you?
Jonathan is immaculately dressed. I imagine the style of the 20s would require some kind of waistcoat, I imagine. Maybe, I don't know, the transatlantic would be dicky bow or a tie, I'm not sure, but maybe, would you say, Matt, a dicky bow maybe?
I'd say dicky bow would be fine. For those of us in the States, that would be a bow tie.
Yes, bow tie in translation.
Although I do like dicky bow better.
This is the UK side of me.
I'm loving it. I'm learning new things all the time.
Welcome. There'll be more of this. So I'm wearing my bow tie, my immaculately pressed shirt and waistcoat. It seems from the profile picture he has kind of like some kind of like maybe like a Brill cream or something, kind of like sort of wax, kind of that slides his hair to one side, and a real kind of like sense of professionalism exudes from Jonathan, especially, well, at least in this setting.
Love it. One of the waiters, or I should say perhaps more hosts of the event, sees you coming and says, "Ah, yes, Mr. Quayle, welcome. Please, have a seat." You see that the table already has several people seated at it. Many of them are dressed in fancy outfits. A couple of them are still dressed in military outfits. You see one dressed in the outfit of the one of the more upper echelons of the French Foreign Legion. You can make a... Let me see, what kind of skill check would you make here? Jonathan, let's see what your skills are. Let's see. I would say... You know what? No skill check needed, considering who you are and where you're at. You recognize this individual as Résident Général Charles Nogue. Or Nogues. I'm pronouncing it horribly, and I apologize for any mispronunciations made during this game. Slices and Dices is not held responsible for any of the actions of Batgord. Here is what our friend Charles Nogues looks like. Let me give you a handout. A second. I'll just drag it onto the screen. This is what he looks like. There he is. This is an actual historical figure, by the way, folks. Many of the people that you will meet in this game are actual historical figures.
I was gonna say, looks familiar.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
What was his name?
Charles Nogues. Another person that you see is dressed in a traditional Moroccan outfit, a long tasseled sort of cassock, and you recognize this individual as Youssef Khalil Ben Gad. He is essentially the one of the ministers to the current Sultan of Morocco. He's very high up in the echelon of Casablanca internal affairs, of course, and works hand in hand with the French Foreign Legion, of course. I actually do have a picture, but it's a little small, so... Essentially, yes, as I said, representative of Sultan Mohammed V, and a liaison officer with the diplomatic corps. As you enter, they nod at you and continue to sip tenderly at the soup that has been given. The next person who enters, I would say, based on the luck, I'm going to say Voira, since you have the number one most amount of luck points, you are probably next in line to enter this particular place. What do people see when they look at you?
Voira is very elegant, graceful, lean, really just quite beautiful, even for no matter how old she is. She's definitely probably in her 40s or 50s, maybe. But elegant, graceful, impeccably dressed, and exudes confidence with every step.
Okay, cool. Julie, you might want to just speak up just a teeny bit. I know we're having some audio issues, but yeah, you don't have to worry about blowing out our ears.
Better.
Oh, much better. Yeah. Unless
Okay.
there's like somebody like knocking on your wall that's like, shut up, you can just, sotto voce is not your thing. We want to hear you.
I can be loud.
We like that. We are good with that. Fantastic. Thank you, Julie. So yeah, when I think it's Voira, I've spelled it wrong, not Voira, it's Voira. Voira de Vega. When Voira walks into the room, what is she wearing?
She has on an elegant black and gold gown that's fitting for the occasion. Just draped impeccably, long sleeves, elegant, diamond earrings and necklace. Just cute little beaded clutch that matches the dress perfectly. And little heels. Just, even though she's got on heels, you don't hear a single step. She just floats across the floor. Glides
Very nice. And now our third to join the scene, I'd say, is based on, again, luck rolls, is probably Felix. Felix got a 60 on luck. So Felix, as you enter the large dining room, festooned with tables, what do people see when they see you?
You see Felix walking in. He's wearing the classic James Bondish or James Bond-esque type of outfit, bow tie and all that. But you see some soft glintering of like, not sequencing, but just basically like nice soft reflectiveness on the collar, along the actual pocket area that he has, and a bit on the bow tie. He's just a bit on the line of flamboyant in his appearance. He has a nice little tucked inside of his pocket. He's got his white handkerchief hanging there just to go ahead and for emergency purposes. A little watch down in the bottom so he can keep track of time. And he has not a cigarette, but a piece, like a bit of a toothpick sort of looking thing in his mouth, just to go ahead and actually chew on something as he's walking around.
Love it. Fantastic. You do spot a couple people who you recognize, although not having spoken to them, you sort of recognize them from the hotel itself. You recognize Jonathan, obviously, because he works the hotel. He's one of the concierges. You also see Voira as well, at sort of walking amongst the people, greeting them kindly.
Yep. He'll probably just go ahead and actually just give the side eye, sort of like, and gives a bit of a wink to say, hello, Jonathan, and all that stuff. Just so that it's like saying, I see ya.
Okay. We're going to take a quick sort of like, as the three of these individuals gather themselves at the dinner, we're actually going to sort of do a sort of a fade to, again, the outside area. And the outside of this city still, Maaz and Saeed. The two of you arrive approximately at the same time at the Transatlantic Hotel. Maaz, describe yourself, if you will.
Yeah, I don't really have a description on here, but
you don't need to worry about it. You can. That means you can make it up and have your character however you want to.
He's tall, dark, and handsome.
Fantastic.
He's wearing a set of probably a better set of robes, Moroccan-style robes, and he's got a colorful shamag wrapped around his head, and he's got his nimcha on his hip.
What, would you mind telling us, is a nimcha?
A nimcha is very similar to a I just had a brain fart. It's a sword.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more of a ceremonial-looking sword. It's very ornate, very fancy, very ancient.
Okay.
Scimitar. There we go.
Scimitar, absolutely, yes. And you have it fastened to your waist?
I do.
Okay. You catch the eyes of Saeed. Saeed, you perhaps come out of a cab to the Hotel Transatlantique, and exiting it, you see this individual standing across. You've never met him before. Something striking about him, and also the fact that he's actually carrying a sword that has been strapped to his sash. What would the audience see when they look at you, Saeed?
Well, as I am stepping out of the cab, you can see that Saeed is dressed in his Sunday best, but it's not new. It's worn down a little bit. It's traditional, but a bit more Western. He has a more of a suit vest and with maybe some traditional borders and a satchel and a fez, of course.
And a fez, of course.
Yeah.
Can't go anywhere.
And
Fez.
he's youngish. He's 28, but he tries to look older, so he has a little mustache that he tries to grow out, but it's not quite working out yet. And he looks around a bit nervously, especially since he sees the tall, handsome man with the sword.
I don't blame you. The sun begins to set. over Casablanca as the two of you eye each other. It is a relatively warm October evening. The nightlife, of course, coming to life as the sun begins to set over Casablanca. The streets full of pedestrians coming and going from the cafes and the bars. Patrons at the hotel are seemingly entering fully dressed for some kind of event, dinner perhaps, or a night on the town, as they like to consider themselves. Many of them are étrangers, strangers, men from either Europe or the United States. Of course, in 1939, in October, war has already blossomed over Europe. France has been invaded by the Germans, and things are very testy right now, shall we say. As the nights grow longer here in the wintertime, the nights are beginning to grow cooler, but gendarmes, which are the French Foreign Legion or police, essentially the French police here in Casablanca, patrol the streets, essentially like clockwork, looking for any signs of trouble. A stark contrast to just months earlier, where things were pretty much copacetic, which is truly a sign of heightened tension in the Protectorate of Morocco. Although, to be honest, as you watch people enter and leave the hotel, these revelers don't seem bothered at all. So, Saeed and Maaz, you're more than welcome to try to enter the hotel if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll approach the door, and I will remove the sash from my face to be polite.
Yeah, very kind. As you do so, one of the gentlemen standing at the door looks down at this nimcha at your waist and says, Sir, I don't believe that you will be allowed inside the hotel with a weapon.
I'll produce my invitation. Will this get me in?
He looks at it. He says, yes, you are here for the promotion.
Yes.
Yes, I understand. This weapon, and he points at the weapon, understanding what it is. This is,
ceremonial.
May I see it, if you don't mind?
Absolutely. I'll take it off and hand
produce it, yeah? I mean, it's got a point to it. The edge probably isn't razor sharp, but it's enough if you wanted to use it to kill someone, you probably certainly could. Ceremonial swords are just as dangerous as everyday standard mundane swords. He says, Sir, I understand that you are here for the promotion, but it would be ill-advised if you were to bring such a weapon inside the hotel. We can certainly keep this for you if you would like in our storage area until you are completed with your dinner.
That would be acceptable.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. And he snaps his fingers, and a young Moroccan man appears from behind the door, looks at the nimcha, sort of with a little bit of astonishment, and then looks back at you, Maaz. Are you of Moroccan descent?
I am. I am half Moroccan and half Dutch.
Excellent. So your skin sort of bears the qualities of both lineages. And so he looks at the nimcha and he says something in Arabic. I'm assuming that you do speak Arabic. Go ahead and make an Arabic check.
Sure.
Okay, that's a lot of luck if you wanted to spend it. Or you can push it, and maybe something bad will come if you fail again.
Sure, let's push it. How do I do that on this?
Just roll it again.
Okay.
Okay, there's a success. Fantastic. But that is Dutch that you just used, not Arabic.
Oh, no, let's try that again. That would be why.
Oh, that's a double failure. Oh dear. So yeah, the man looks at when he hears the word in Arabic said towards you, Maaz. The man's brow furrows, and he sort of grimaces at you, and then he says another word or two in Arabic to this young Moroccan man, who hurries away inside the hotel with it. And then he doesn't say anything anymore to you, Maaz. He just gestures you inside.
I expect it back, and I'll go in.
He does not respond, and you enter. Saeed, it is now your turn. He doesn't see any kind of outward weaponry on you, and so he says, "Are you here for the same purpose?"
Yes, and I present him with my invitation.
Excellent. Please, by all means, sir. And he
Thank you.
brings you inside. Maaz and Saeed, as you enter, let me just reduce the amount of sheep that you're hearing in the background. Apologies. I don't know why they suddenly appeared out of nowhere. You, in fact, hear the sounds of this elegant dinner party occurring. You enter the Transatlantic Hotel and fine artwork, honestly. Probably more than you've ever seen in your lives, of varying styles, probably quite expensive, lines the walls of this lavish hotel, specifically the ballroom that you enter. You see elegant crystal chandeliers, which top its high ceiling. 6 tables occupy half of the ballroom's space. A hardwood dance floor and stage fill the remainder of the ballroom. By the side of the ballroom, you see a smiling bartender standing behind a small cocktail bar in one corner of the room, polishing glasses in final preparation for the night's event. And 3 waitstaff stand at the entrance as you enter and greet you kindly. You also see the other 3 individuals who have joined previously: Jonathan, Voira, and Felix.
I am very out of my place when I step into this room, so I immediately go to one of the servants and get myself a drink to keep my hands busy, and as I look around in the room, and I nudge myself in a corner somewhere.
Okay, fantastic.
I will also get myself a drink, but I'm going to get right into the mix and start talking to people.
All right. There are a few people of note. Obviously, this general of the Foreign Legion has quite a lot of people around him, many of whom are sort of, the hobnobbers, shall we say, who want to get in tight with essentially the man who's in charge of the entire sûreté here in Casablanca, who is in the know about what is going on in all portions of Casablanca, ill-intentioned and not. Then there is, of course, as I said before, Yusuf Khalil Ben Gad, who's the Sultan's representative. And you do, in fact, see the man of the hour. Let's call him Legionnaire X, since I'm going to massacre his name again. So Legionnaire X sees you and motions you. He sort of waves. "Oh, my friend. Welcome. Thank you for showing up. Very glad to see you again."
Who's he talking to?
To you.
Oh, okay, my bad.
You're like,
Which one?
staring.
It's great to see you again, sir.
Oh,
How's
yes.
everything been?
Well, as you can see, everything seems to be on the up and up for me.
Excellent. Congratulations on your promotion.
Oh, many, many thanks, and I am so glad to share it with you. And, oh my goodness, Voira? And he wanders over to a very fine, stately, tall, dark-skinned woman who's standing by the bar.
I'll follow them.
Okay. Voira, it is such a great joy to see you once again.
Well, the pleasure is all mine, dear. So happy to see you.
How do you like our fair city? I know that you were working amongst all of your peers with your newfound law degree.
It's been a very generous and bright city here. And just overwhelmed by the generosity and the colorful nature of the city is beautiful. Beautiful.
Can't agree with you more. And, I bless my soul. Felix! And he waves over a young individual who sort of like wanders in from the side. Felix, it's wonderful to see you once again. I'm so glad that you got my note.
Such a pleasure to be here in this fine hotel.
This is nothing, but it is nothing without the wonderful efforts of my friend here. And as you sort of start to wander by, Jonathan, he grasps you by the shoulder and pulls you in.
Oh, sir? Oh? Hey?
Of course, Mr. Quayle. This, everyone, is Mr. Jonathan Quayle. Jonathan works here at the hotel. In what regard, of course, you may tell them, Jonathan.
Whatever you require, I can normally provide with the utmost essential and perfect assistance.
He ribs you and he says, "Of course, whatever we require, am I right, Jonathan?"
Hint, hint, wink, wink, of course.
Say no more.
Especially-
He says, "Well, thank you very, very kindly for coming." Bless my soul. He begins to shout, and then he sort of stops himself, and he wanders over to the bar. You guys can follow him if you'd like. And he sees Saeed, who has come in, perhaps timidly, perhaps not. It's up to you.
Oh, hello. Thank you for the invitation, sir.
Oh, by all means. It was truly nothing. I'm glad to have all of my dear friends arrayed around me, and for you to all meet each other for once.
Oh, hello, everybody. I'm Said.
Saeed,
Pleasure.
how are your studies, Saeed?
They're going very well, very well. I've just returned from university in France, studied in Paris, so I've got some very interesting ideas I want to share with you afterwards.
Well, I'm glad that you got out of there just in time. After all, with those horrendous. And he sort of looks around to make sure that he's not hurt. He says, "Those Germans, they will stop at
Yes.
nothing."
They are monsters, sir.
More than you know. More than you know. Remind me, and he sort of looks at the five of you. He says, "Remind me, perhaps after dinner. I have something which I think the five of you, with all of your variety, with the variety of your particular skill sets, would be quite handy in. A task that would be of the utmost importance, not only to me personally, but, well..." And he sort of leans in, he says, to all of us.
Oh, I can't wait.
But
How intriguing! darling.
I
Wait to
am.
hear more.
I speak out of turn. Please, enjoy your dinner. And he wanders away into the crowd. "Oh, yes, Bethencourt!" And he, wanders to and fro.
I wonder what he wants to talk to us about.
Mystery. Who knows?
Must be very important.
How exciting!
I feel
It's an
things
exciting thing
tingling.
now, and exciting something else to get into. I'm intrigued.
Yes, I feel things tingling in my body, and it's all good.
Are you sure it's not from alcohol?
You're probably right. But still intrigued.
Your dinner is served. You see a dish of sort of a cold fish soup that's supplied to you. And here, even in the fall, hot soups probably wouldn't be the best ideal in this particular weather. But this is obviously French Casablanca. So the fare, the dinner meals are indeed French in cuisine, and they are very, very, very well done.
Well, not really a fan of fish, but it's still good. Might need to brush my teeth after.
That's
I
what the
always
mint leaves are for, darling. Chew on the mint leaves, and the vodka will cleanse from there.
I know. Grabs the mint.
Everything is good with enough vodka.
I can say that for sure.
Especially after a good night.
Before long, the five of you enjoying your dinner, Legionnaire X stands up and ting 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 gently taps his fork on a glass. Everyone silences, and he says, "I would like to thank all of my friends for attending tonight's ceremony of my promotion tonight. I'm very grateful, of course, to the Sultan's emissary." He points over to Yusuf Khalil, He says, for, of course, being here on behalf of the Sultan, and of course for footing the bill. And everyone and just laughs. The Sultan sort of, Yusef, the Sultan's emissary, just bows his head. He says, I would also like to thank Resident General Charles Nogues for taking a few minutes of his busy schedule, of course, to say a few words, which he did so at my actual promotion in the Foreign Legion. Nogues, a very stern-looking man, as you can tell by his photo, doesn't smile at all. He says, I was requested at the last second to say a few words at the celebration. I hope that they were sufficient. Of course, General. They were wonderful. Thank you. And Nogues says, it was only that I was staying at the hotel on official business due to the recent declaration of war that I was able to do so. And he just stares at Legionnaire X. There's a sort of an uncomfortable silence. A couple people just like cough. Like someone just dropped the other shoe, so to speak. He says, otherwise I would not attend such a lowly function. Taps his fingers on the table. Yeah, well, nevertheless, thank you very much, of course, General, for attending. I would like to thank you, of course, and Colonel Antoine Betoard, who he motions to a man also in Foreign Legion uniform, a sort of portly gentleman sitting next to him, who's just not even paying attention, just consistently eating. And says, I would like you, of course, to enjoy your meals. And Nogues just sort of pulls his chair out and stands up. He says, I would like to thank all of you for being here. I must attend to my duties at the Sûreté. Thank you very much. I congratulate you, of course, Sir Lieutenant X, and for your bravery here in Casablanca and elsewhere. I unfortunately have other things to do than give more lengthy speeches, attending to sous-lieutenants. Perhaps one day I may, of course, attend your promotion to Captain or Colonel. But nevertheless. And he turns and just stomps out of the dining room, saying something in French. I would say probably those of you with French could roll a French roll.
Didn't catch it.
Didn't catch it.
Oh.
I did.
Saeed, you hear him, and specifically he looks over at he looks over at the Sultan's emissary. And he says in French, silly superstitions that people hold. And two other legionnaires and an orderly attend him. Does anyone want to do anything, or just let him go?
Just let him go.
Okay.
The general, yeah, I don't want to fight with him.
Well, I didn't say fight. Hey! I level my gun at him.
I brought the sword
I'm
for
a
a
talker,
reason.
not a fighter.
Is this where we roll initiative, Matt? No, wait, hold on. Different game, guys.
I wonder what that was all about. Superstition? It was saying something about superstition, but didn't catch all of it.
Another
It's just a
mystery. Another mystery to solve. This
I
should
wonder
be
if it's
a very
fake.
interesting evening.
Mysteries are great to be solved, don't you think?
Yes, indeed.
As you are speaking, Yusuf Ben Khalil stands up and he says, well, I am not one for much word, but I would say that our friend, and he points at Legionnaire X, he has had a well-deserved promotion. His actions in the Atlas Mountains were without compare. He has defended Casablanca and its confines against the invaders time and time again. And I know that with this promotion, he will do all that he can to ensure the safety of the Moroccan peoples from any and all threats. I hope that the French Foreign Legion will take these concerns more seriously in the future and collaborate more constructively with the Sultan's viziers on issues that are of concern to both French and Moroccan peoples. Thank you. And he sits down again.
You see Said clap.
Colonel Betoir, the portly French Legion officer, hasn't really noticed very much. Like, he may have put his soup spoon down a couple of times and just to do a couple of claps, but then just consistently keeps eating. He's like, garçon. Yeah, more, please. And this guy just pours another ladle of soup. Let's do a luck roll. Let's see who he's sitting across from. Whoever's the highest luck, you are the lucky person he sits across from.
Oh, I had a hard success apparently.
Ooh, there we go. Hard success from Saeed. Okay, looks like a hard success is coming your way. So Saeed, he sits across from you. He's just like gobbling his soup down. He looks over at you. He says, you are, points at your fez. You're native born, yes?
Yes, monsieur, I am native born.
You know the Atlas Mountains?
Never been there myself, but I know of them, yes.
Yes. I am a former mountain brigade commander. I know the Atlas Mountains like the back of my hand. Takes great courage and strength to survive them. This friend of ours, Legionnaire X, massive wonders he did in the Atlas.
Massive wonders, you say?
Oh, yes.
Well,
defended an entire cadre of French Foreign Legion soldiers. They were all going to run in fear from the, and he sort of looks over at you and he sort of doesn't speak anymore. He was extremely courageous.
Okay, but I wasn't aware we were at war at this time.
Oh,
With
no.
somebody-
Nomadic troops.
Nomadic troops?
Yes.
In the Atlas Mountains?
Yes,
Okay.
absolument. And he just goes back to eating a soup and drinking more and more wine.
Okay.
So, with that, you guys are welcome to talk to anyone you'd like in here in the dinner. Or I should say, in the ballroom.
I would like to approach the Sultan's emissary.
Okay.
And what did the general mean when he said superstitions?
The general is mistaken, if that is indeed what he said about me and my people. Sultan is well within his understanding of our ways, as is the general, of course. Simply just because one is civilized, as they call themselves, does not mean that they understand everything of the old ways here in the Protectorate.
Certainly. The old ways are just as important, if not more.
Of course they are. You guys are more than welcome to take up conversations. If not, that's totally fine too.
Okay. One of them, sipping be a cognac or something like that. We'll look around and notice the beautifully dressed Voira de Vega. And imagine probably recognizes her from hereabouts. We'll make her way over and go, Voira de Vega, darling, you are looking exquisite tonight.
Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you. And you are looking quite fine as well, sir.
Of course, dressed for the occasion, naturally. How do you know our kind sir? What brings you here?
I know quite a few people. I am a bit of a social butterfly myself, and I really enjoy hearing people's stories, and I think they like to help them. So, I am here. We are friends.
I'm a little bit curious, are you not? I wonder what you would like to speak to about afterwards.
It is a definitely intriguing thing. I do not know.
I didn't realize he was a man of mystery. And some new characters amongst the group, I see.
Flavor. Like this city full of spice. It'd be
See your
fun.
drink's empty. Would you like a topper?
Of course, darling. Thank you.
And you're drinking? What's your drinking, Voira?
Ever you serve me, darling. It's a nice little cocktail.
I'll make my way to the bar and go and get Voira a drink.
Okay. Anyone else want to take up a conversation with anybody else?
I want to try. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No. You go first.
I want to see if I can talk up the general in front of me again, and I go like, "You seem to like the gazpacho, monsieur."
Oh, is that what this is? I thought it was a cream of leek soup.
No, it's a cold soup, so it's a gazpacho, monsieur.
Oh, that's it's a Spanish dish, yes?
Yes. From the warm countries, we enjoy the cold foods.
Spain is just across the sea, of course, from here, so why not?
Yes, I visited it actually. I was there when I studied in Paris for quite a few years, so I traveled around a little bit. See, I was wondering, being a man of a little bit of culture myself, having been to Paris and seeing your sophistication, so to say. What is this superstition the general was talking about?
Oh, it is rubbish. It is nothing. The general, of course, he believes that that there are factions here in Casablanca that believe that there are bandits, criminals that believe in these old pagan gods. I do not know what they are called, but they are spirits of the desert. Nothing that a good Christian man would ever consider.
I see. Yes, it is a very silly superstition.
Of course.
Well, enjoy your soup.
Thank you very much. He just goes right back into it. After about 10 or 15 minutes, Betoar, he says, well, I must attend to my duties, of course, as well. Thank you so much for the invitation, Legionnaire, Sous-Lieutenant, of course, now I must call you. Thank you as well. He sort of gestures, he salutes to the Sultan's emissary, who has been sitting there. He hasn't eaten very much. He's sort of just sitting there enjoying everyone's company, sort of just taking it in. And Betoar stands up and exits the dining room.
Bonsoir, monsieur.
Bonsoir to you.
Whilst Jonathan's at the bar, obviously works here, so knows all the staff, and goes to the bar and orders a drink for Voira. Turns to the barman. just smiles while taking the drink. It's like, anything interesting for me that you have seen tonight? Anything that'd be of interest?
Oh, Mr. Quail, Mr. Quail. Nothing that you don't already know. You are a man of many talents.
Sultan's assistant. I can't recall the name. Seems quiet. Anything about him, you know?
Mr. Khalil, yes. He is, of course, the emissary of the Sultan. So he tends to keep to himself quite a lot. But he seems to be a happy sort. Doesn't really show his colors very much.
Very well. It's something decent for the lady. A good red.
Oh, well, we have this wonderful Chablis. Holds up a 1936 Chablis. 1936 was a very good year.
Wonderful. Make it large.
Excellent. Pours a glass, hands it over.
Okay. I'm just going to survey the room just myself to see if there's anything interesting before
By the way,
making my way to the
a
wine.
Chablis is a white wine. I'm an idiot and don't know my fucking wines from my elbow. So, let me think. Like a Spanish red. Yeah, he just pours like a relatively local Spanish red one.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm just going to survey. Yeah, just survey the kind of party. Just see if there's anything that piques my interest while before proceeding back to Voira with the Spanish red.
All right, make a spot hidden roll.
Okay. The line caller. This is the trick, is it trying to find it in my skills?
I know it's all it's pretty alphabetical actually. Most of the skills in the character sheet are alphabetical. So.
Oh yes, I have it. It is here.
91 versus 50. That's a failure. Too enthralled with the party, it seems.
Yeah,
would
99
be-
previously as well.
I'll be
I push that,
actually.
or is that just as is?
I would be leaning up against the bar and all this stuff, just admiring the view, watching everything, and would be watching Jonathan doing what he's doing, surveying, and be like, "Are you trying to look for someone?"
I'm just looking for something interesting. I mean, it's been quite dull so far, hasn't it?
Apart from that lovely exit of the general, but other than that, it seems to
The
be
general, they're all the same, all highfalutin.
sounds like they have a stick up their bum, don't you think?
A rather long one, I would say, on the observation of that gentleman.
Indeed, indeed. And he's swirling around his drink, a white wine, just to enjoy the night.
How fares you, sir? How are you doing tonight?
Just enjoying the festivities. Just enjoying all the laughs and dining, and just love seeing all the things around here. It's just so pretty.
Indeed.
Can I
Indeed.
be able to look around the room as well?
Yeah,
after?
sure. Spot hidden is fine.
Okay. I'll continue to talk to Jonathan as I'm doing this.
Yeah, sure.
Now I've lost my mouse pointer.
You're gonna need a spot hidden for that.
I just did. At number 29 out of 80.
Hard success, absolutely. You with a hard success, I think you see Legionnaire X's eyes sort of flitting around to the five of you. Like he wants. He's very much wanting to strike up a conversation with the five of you, but it's just like there's too many people around.
I think the general wishes to speak to us. He's looking very intently at me.
That's the Legionnaire, just to make sure that
The
we're not talking about the
Legionnaire.
same thing, right?
Thank you.
No worries,
The
no worries.
I think the Legionnaire wants to go ahead and speak to us. Do you want? I'll grab Saeed if Saeed and Maaz if you want to grab Voira if you want.
Indeed, she's looking dry, so I will attend to her needs with the red, and we can then make our way to the Legionnaire.
Alrighty, I'll meet you there. And I'll quickly grab Saeed and Maaz and head over to the Legionnaire.
Okay. He smiles as the five of you approach his table. He says, "Well, I am completely drunk. I feel amazing. Thank you all so very much." He stands up. He sort of teeter-totters a little bit, and everyone's like, "Ooh!" He's like, "I must, of course, raise a glass." Why am I singing this accent? I must raise a glass to all of you present. Thank you so much for attending my he sort of like forgets what he's it is my coronation? No, it is not my coronation. Of course it is my promotion. Of course it is my promotion. I am a Sioux lieutenant now. Oh my goodness. Ooh, he staggers. He sort of falls into you, Maaz.
I'll catch him and hold him up.
Oh, I must sit down somewhere. Oh my god. Over there. He points to like a doorway in a nearby room. Oh, please.
Escort him in that direction.
Good night, everyone. Good night. Thank you for coming. Thank you. I assume the rest of you follow, or?
Yeah.
I see nods
Yeah.
all around. Fantastic. You all, as players, probably caught on to what the hell this guy was doing. As he exits the dining room and enters this sort of small study that's just off the ballroom, he immediately straightens up. He's like, God, that was awkward. Ugh, I hate doing that.
I thought you were having so much fun.
Oh, no, this is not fun at all for me. This is quite serious, actually. Please. And the smell of pine and cigars and whiskey sort of pervades the room as you see some overstuffed chairs, a grandfather clock, very finely appointed study. He says, please, I haven't a moment to waste. Please, take seats. And would you mind, Jonathan? And he points to you and says, just shut the door.
Of course. Whiskies all round?
You will need
Absolutely.
them.
Of course, I will attend to that, sir.
Monsieur, would this by any chance have something to do with your heroic deeds?
If that is what you wish to call them, then yes. Yes, it is about that. Although the five of you were not involved, I and others were involved in a rescue mission in the Atlas Mountains. It is of little relevance to what I have to ask of you, but it is due to that experience that I bring this matter to the five of you now. In that time, I and these others, where they are I know not, saw things that make no sense to the human mind. We saw beings and creatures that would stagger science and would trouble one's own sanity. But leave that in the past. Due to my efforts and, of course, these others, I was promoted to Sioux Lieutenant, and it is for that reason that I bring to you now this matter. I have been moved to the city now. It's nice being closer to civilization, rather than being out in the wilderness. But with the promotion comes certain comforts, of course. This hotel, an office, more money, respect. He sort of listens outside as a thunderhead actually begins to roll in, from somewhere. Rain is not often the typical weather pattern here in the north part of Africa. When it does occur, it comes just sort of as a passing storm and then disappears within a matter of minutes. But most of the time, it's just, heat lightning. And all of you begin to feel sort of the hairs on the back of your arms prick up. Whether it's due to the static in the air or the words coming from Legionnaire X's mouth, you're not sure. He says, I will get to the crux of my ask. What I experienced on that mountain has left an indelible mark upon me. I believe that much more of its kind is afoot here in Casablanca, and that there are sinister forces at play that threaten all of us. We must uncover precisely what is happening before it's too late. Now, each of you in your own turn have been pursuing your own truth to some degree. Some of you through science, some of you through philosophy, some of you through law, some of you through your own particular gains in your profession. He looks around the room and looks to each one of the five of you. I hope that we can join forces in some way. And in my new elevated status, I have become privy to some information that might be of use. We should be sharing information with one another. Perhaps I can actually leverage the power of the Legion to aid when and if the time comes. But to the point. He sort of leans forward, puts his hand on his desk. He says, I've been made aware of a collection of documents that were seized a few weeks ago by the local gendarme here in Casablanca. I have yet to see these documents, and quite frankly, they are out of my jurisdiction. As of now, these documents are simply rumor, and I cannot confirm nor deny their existence. It's mostly just gossip amongst the men, and I normally would have dismissed it as such, but for what I experienced in the Atlas Mountains, I've been thinking about it, and it just the possibility of their existence haunts me. It leads me to speculate that perhaps these documents contain information of certain significance and relation to what I experienced in the mountains. Perhaps meaningful information about these strange events. Anyway, more about these documents, or at least the potential ones that were found in this seizure. They were discovered in the German-owned Mönch textile factory after the factory was seized by the French Protectorate upon the declaration of war against Germany. And the more I think about it, perhaps I think that the war itself may be at play here. Perhaps, indeed, the Nazis are up to something. Of course, I'm acting with some degree insubordinately in coming to you rather than to my superiors, but as you are already aware, the French authorities have not taken the claims of what was experienced on the mountain very seriously. In some cases, they mistake what happened on the mountain as some kind of heroic act against a bunch of Bedouin nomads. Of course, I know otherwise. In fact, I believe that our claim has been seriously considered, but there may be some high-ranking military officials who look to keep things contained, specifically if they are relating to the Nazis. The documents seized by the gendarmerie are said to be a trove of bizarre and esoteric papers. Some very, very strange stuff indeed. Or at least that's the rumor. I've actually heard that they contain a variety of information. Secret weaponry held by the Nazis, disturbing letters, talk of monsters. Anyway, suffice it to say that we need to look into this dossier, the factory from which it came, of course, if possible, and get a look at what is being dubbed, at least by myself, as Le Dossier Mönch. This, of course, needs to be done discreetly. And quite frankly,
Of course.
you are the only people that I know that can be trusted to take this seriously. Of course, I can't send my own men, lest they be discovered and traced back to me. So, I come to you with an ask that you look into this textile factory, see what you can find, and then discuss what needs to be done next. What say you?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Of course.
It's
Happy to
exciting.
help.
Everything to keep Morocco safe.
I have nothing else better to do.
Of course, Felix. You always keep a smile on my face.
Aw, and I thought I was just my charming good looks.
Oh, that's part of it. Mr. Quayle, of course, you holding position here at the hotel. I don't know if this behooves your position or not, but I would trust no man to know about the inner workings of Casablanca and all the rumors that flit to and fro more than you.
As I said, this sounds very exciting, and I'd be remiss to let an opportunity like this pass. I assume this is everything that you know?
All that I know, yes.
Well, at least we know where to go first.
Indeed. And he then marks a position on a map, a nearby map here in the room of Casablanca, of the Mönch textile factory. It is in the... let me find it, actually. Apologies. The Mönch textile factory is actually in... it is actually very close to the actual port itself. So if the hotel is, of course, here, you would go past the railway station to the commercial area of the port of Casablanca, where the textile factory, now that it's been seized by the gendarmerie, where it is.
Does Jonathan know anything about this factory, given his contacts around the city?
I mean, it was run by German citizens that up until when the war began, were business owners. Wasn't anything out of the ordinary to have Europeans investing here in the Middle East, specifically because of textiles here in Morocco. Textiles are quite a burgeoning business. And to supply them to Europe, my goodness.
So, yeah. Nothing out of the ordinary. No, sudden event that happened in that area.
Nope. Not at all.
Okay.
Any other questions for our friend Legionnaire X? Okay. If that's...
What are
go ahead.
monsters? These monsters, these creatures you talk about, do you have any description of these? Anything more than just them being monsters?
He sighs deeply and he says, "What I encountered on that mountain, I cannot describe their like. Their bodies were all twisted and mangled. Their faces a mass of flesh and teeth. My mind reels at the very thought of trying to recollect their actual forms."
And you fear that they may present a danger to the city now.
I fear that other things are afoot that may explain their existence.
Knowledge of the occult, would I have any idea what they might be?
You could make an occult roll. It will be, unfortunately, a hard one, but you failed, unfortunately, as well. Yeah, you have no idea, even from this description, what he's talking about.
When I was in France, I heard rumors about Hitler's interests in the occult. I hope this has nothing to do with it.
Lord knows what that madman is doing now.
Well, sounds like we have a busy day tomorrow, but is there anything of things around in the port of Casablanca that we should be aware of? Like, obviously, problems or things that might prevent us from getting there within a timely fashion?
You know that the port of Casablanca, located in the northern part of the city, is an industrial area, tons of factories, railway tracks. It's really just sort of the heart of It's really the heart of actually the whole country of Morocco's industry, honestly.
Right.
The buildings themselves are older buildings, more wear and tear than some of these more modern buildings, and any kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Any kind of architecture or apartments, they're probably going to be very short, smaller buildings. No high, even anything above like 10 or 12 stories tall would not be anywhere near the port itself. And I would say that in passing through Casablanca, you probably have passed through the port several times. Beyond that, you know that it's a place that it's not rife with the criminal element for sure, but, people do dirty dealings here and there and everywhere. You for certain know that. Absolutely, Felix.
Okay. Is there any, frequent patrolling of anyone, of the local
Gendarme?
militia and all that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would think that you would think... there's patrols of everywhere on heightened alert to some degree in Casablanca since the war started. You're seeing more of them everywhere now. No more or less would happen around the port than around any other part of the city.
Okay. So, average. Okay.
But considering that the textile factory was seized by the gendarme, you wouldn't think that it would be a worry.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hate to bring this up, Legionarics, but more detail of recompense?
Oh my, he says. I'll be honest, I have, very little that I can give. What do you expect in return?
I'm just a mere concierge, sir, and just invested in this exciting proposition, but possession of currency is always important to me.
Jonathan, make either a charm or persuade roll. Your choice.
Sure. I think it would be charm.
I think that's fair.
So I will do that. Let's see how this goes.
Success! Legionnaire X says, Mr. Quayle, I know that the hotel is burgeoning business, and of course you being a lowly concierge, as you call yourself, find yourselves at the lowest end of the rung of the ladder. I can perhaps donate £20 to your investigation.
I don't know what the currency was like back then for the 20s. Was £20 good?
That's like, I would say £20 is like a week's pay, honestly.
Okay.
That's like week's pay. Like, he considers it important enough that he would give you a week's pay to get done what you need to get done.
Okay, yeah, that will also put me in a bit of a bond to him that he would be so willing to part that much so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, of course, Jonathan graciously accepts that and goes, I appreciate the gesture, Legionnaire. You are right to think that I'm just a lowly concierge. Making my way up. For now. That's where I'm at.
He says, but if you desire this recompense, as you call it, you must go tonight.
Now?
Yes. Now.
What is the urgency?
I do not wish the dossier to fall into the wrong hands. You must, of course, discover where it is, if it was indeed taken from the textile factory, and what was inside of it.
Jonathan looks around for some water. to water down his whiskey.
He's like, oh shit, I shouldn't be drunk.
Oh, Maaz tops his off.
Nice.
Very well. Look around to the rest of the group. Are we in?
We are. Well, I am, at least.
Let's go.
Voira, Felix?
Yep,
Well,
following
I
along.
must change if we're going to be going there. I must change. I feel a bit overdressed. Go to the docks.
You know
That
what,
is-
darling? You're right. We would be overdressed going to the docks in what we're wearing.
That's fair.
Just a moment. Just a moment.
That's totally fair. I think perhaps like you guys all head to the lobby.
I would like to retrieve my sword.
Yes. In fact, the young Moroccan gentleman who stashed it sort of slides it across the table to you and gives you a look and says, in Arabic, he says, "God be with you."
I receive it and tell him thank you in Arabic.
My God, I wasn't too bad, right? 20 pounds back then, 873. That's about a week's pay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, depending on where you work.
I think for a concierge it might be a little much.
Yeah, well,
that's
you
a
know,
good deal.
Over the weekend.
That's a good
Don't
deal.
tell him that.
at least I know he's not gonna fucking complain. All right, Jesus.
Nope. Well, I think I can make that money work.
Here,
Which is
here's
what you say every time they offer more than
$873.
expected on a job.
Here is 800. Is that 873 pounds or $873?
No, that's pounds.
Oh well, then that's even more in dollars. That's like $1,000.
Even more, I think. I don't know what
Yeah,
the
yeah.
figure is
Yeah.
exactly, but
That's also based in 1920s. I'm not sure what the year for this one is. So
This is
I think that's based on
1939. 1939 is the year.
probably a little bit less than that. Probably maybe
Cool.
close to 700 then. Maybe.
Okay, then still, yeah. I mean, that's literally this guy has just shelled out like $500, $600, $700 and just passed it across the table to you, John. Obviously not for yourself, but for the
It's
group.
probably more than 2 weeks. Very nice.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that Jonathan has access to an assortment of outfits? Like, because I'm assuming that the Port of Casablanca, is that more like a working area?
Yes, the Port of Casablanca is commercial district. To some degree, it has some residentials. It has some apartments and stuff like that. Smaller apartments for the people who work in the port because they don't want to commute. But it's just it's pretty close to the railway station, which is the entranceway and the exitway, obviously, to the far Middle East, from Morocco out into the far east of even further, perhaps even Egypt, which at the time obviously was close to being invaded by the Germans. But nevertheless, many different people work and live in the port itself.
Okay. I guess Jonathan will just dress to blend in. Obviously, not probably having a uniform as such, but something that kind of makes him fit within the area.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming that we might be doing a break-in, so...
Works for me. Voira, I think that you probably find a place to dress into something a little bit less formal.
Yes. Yes, just a nice pair of boots and pants, a shirt and jacket, and just Indiana Jones, a la female.
I love it.
Maybe not quite so. Not quite that casual, but
No problem.
putting the era of the wide leg khaki pants that were high waisted and button up shirt with the little flouncy little ruffly collar and little jacket.
Do any of us have access to a car?
If you don't have a car in your possessions, then you do not. You would take cabs to and from places in Casablanca.
I don't have anything in my possessions.
I mean, you have your... if you don't have any weaponry except your sword, then that's what you got.
Well, I have 2 weapons, but
There you go. Yeah, beyond that, I mean, your inventory, as with most Call of Cthulhu games, is relatively sparse.
so I guess hail a cab.
You
Yeah,
can
I
certainly do
step
that.
out in front of the group and I stick my hand up, signal a cab.
Okay. A short, squat, old rusty cab stops by the hotel. Yes, good evening.
Good evening. Would it be possible to bring us to the port, please?
Of course, of course. He counts
Me
1, 2,
and
3,
my
4.
4 compatriots.
Yes, of course. It will be a tight fit, but you may, of course, come. And he walks over to the side doors and opens them. Back in the 30s, the doors of these sedans would open like this, like they'd open outward like that for the 4-door sedans. So in these cabs, I think many of them probably opened that way, or they had the sort of back doors. I've seen them in old time movies. So yeah, he opens the door and allows you all entrance into this cab. It is, like he says, a tight fit in the seats in this cab.
Ladies first.
Thank you, darling.
All right. So I'm going to do the Indiana Jones red line thing. Here we go. So you start going to and from the streets of the Hotel Transatlantique down past the railway station. And I would say after about 20 to 30 minutes drive, you end up right at the directions to the Mönch textile factory were given to the driver, I assume. Am I correct? By one of you who at least knew the location of it?
Yes.
Fantastic. So, all of you, since you end your journey to the textile factory right in front, can all make spot hidden checks.
Ho 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 ho!
Good gracious.
Ooh.
Luck be with me.
Success,
Wow.
hard success, failure. And
Hold on, looking.
Jonathan is still in the cab.
yeah, she's like she's
There
just
we go.
like combing her hair. Okay, so everyone Jonathan is looking around. Jonathan's just like counting. Yeah, Jonathan's just counting the money.
Jonathan
right?
was helping me out of the cab.
yeah.
Yeah.
Already planning how I'm spending.
Yeah,
this.
he's like, that's 20 pounds,
He's like, do
40
I
pounds.
tip this cab driver?
Can't figure it out. It's amazing.
Busy
You go ahead
micromanaging
and
the
give me
cab
the-
driver. No, left here. Left here.
Yeah, stop, no, oh god. Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
run over that guy.
And when you give him
And
the
do
tip, you
not
go ahead-
stop us where the puddle is. You don't want to get the girl's shoes wet.
Mm. And you just tip him an extra £2. That's all good.
Makes sense.
I think it's the classic. The more money you earn, the less you're willing to part with it.
I've just come to realize, of course, that pounds actually probably were not the currency back in those days. I think they were francs. They
If
were
it was
probably French
French, then they were
francs.
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be French francs. So whatever the appropriate equivalency would be in francs would be. So yes, you those of you who succeeded on your spot hidden, you look around the neighborhood of the textile factory and you don't see anyone around at all. It's just desolate.
Well, it is night, of course.
Sure is.
I guess hop out and head towards the factory.
Okay, you're at the front entrance to the factory.
The doors, are they sealed or?
Well, you can go right up to them and you take a look. Who got a hard success? It looks like Voira got a hard success and Saeed got a hard success. Both of you, when you were looking around, you noted that there was another entrance sort of off in a side alleyway, like a smaller doorway.
I think there is a back entrance. Maybe we should use that one and
Be a little bit
So we-
more sly about it.
less noticed.
Yes.
You also notice that there are windows on the second floor that you can, potentially, if you wanted to climb up to, you could climb in through the windows.
Jonathan's not very athletic. I think that he would discount that immediately.
Okay, fair.
Should we have a lookout if we're planning to break in?
Well, since the area is deserted, the lookout might be what attracts attention.
I'm very unused to these things, Saeed. So.
I'm gonna try that side door.
Okay, so you can walk over to the side door. Maaz wanders over to the side door.
I follow him.
Fair.
So will I.
Okay. Let me check here. Here we go. Yes. Yes, you note that the side door is in fact locked.
I'd like to break into it.
Go ahead and make a locksmith roll for me.
Can I kick it in instead?
It's gonna make a lot of noise.
I have the locksmith skill, but I'm not that good at it.
Don't kick it in. You know that's just going to go ahead and wreck everything, and we're trying to be quiet. Let me speak the language of it. Trust me, I'm very good with this thing.
You look quizzically over at him. Felix is like, "Trust me," and you're like, "Uh-huh."
It was a 1% versus.
Oh no! Do you now? Here's the thing: you can only spend 10 points of luck, Felix. Unfortunately, so do you want to push this roll?
I would like to push this, please.
Okay, go ahead and push it.
Oh, don't fail me now. I did click. Yes!
There's a success. Yeah, the first time you put your well, actually, you know what? Tell us what happens the first time versus the second time.
The first time I look at it and I just go ahead and a little bit baffled. I'm like, oh, this is something I haven't seen before. And then after re-looking at it, I'm like, oh, wait, I've seen this before. It's this simple thing where you go ahead and flip this, flick that, push this hard in, and you just go ahead and jiggle and go, open sesame, and click, and it undoes.
Fantastic. You guys watch in abject amazement as Felix unlocks the side door to the back of this particular potential loading dock area of the textile factory.
See? Speak the words, then it opens.
Are you entering through the side entrance? Or I should say the back entrance? Or all of you entering through the back?
Let ladies go first. Since we allowed the lady go in the car first, we'll let her go in first.
Sure, darling, I will go.
Viora, who else is going with Viora?
Absolutely.
Viora, Maaz, who else? All of you?
I will. Yeah, I will
Saeed?
tag along.
Felix is nodding. Jonathan?
I'll be going on.
Jonathan, yes or no? Sorry. He's nodding. I can't believe... I'm not sure if he's saying yes or no. Jonathan, can you hear us?
Oh yes, I'm coming.
Oh, apologies. I'm sorry. Such a soft... I'm just imagining him just like, oh, yes, I'm coming. I'm just checking the money here. Sorry. What? All right. I'll
Very numerically challenged at the moment.
it's totally fine. I get it. I would like all 5 of you to roll stealth rolls, please.
Of course.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh. That's I don't know how many
Okay.
failures. That's 3 failures
Oh, this is my best.
and 2 successes. All right.
Wow.
Okay, I pushed mine.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh, you pushed yours. Okay, so that is a success from Felix. Any of you who failed can, of course, push.
I will try to push it.
Okay. Hard success in Saeed, so it looks like anyone else who has not yet pushed.
Sure.
Oh no, Maaz! That is
Yep.
a fumble, sir. Oh no. So I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense. Maaz is the one who's like, "Can't I just kick the goddamn door in?" All of you are like coming in quietly, slowly. You move into the factory floor. You hear like a creak under your foot. You're like, "Shit." You move in a little quieter, and then Maaz is like, and like just echoing off the floor. Just all this vaulted ceiling of this abandoned, potentially factory. Just sound ringing.
I take a breath and just kind of slowly turn back at him, like, seriously. I don't say anything. I just give him that look, like, you've got to be kidding me.
And I will look and eye roll. It's fine.
Okay. In you go, then. The factory floor of the textile factory measures about 40 meters, 120 feet. Wait, did I do that right? 40 times 3? Yeah, 120 feet. Blah, blah, blah. 120 feet by 20 meters, so another 50 feet. With various machines featuring different color yarns and threads. And you see long tables which have long lengths of material piled up, and sewing machines of varying shapes and sizes occupying other tables. Fabrics of all shapes and colors hang from the walls. On one end of the floor is a set of stairs that leads to a balcony covering about 5 meters of the total length and spanning the entire width of the factory. The balcony also features an office with large windows overlooking its edge. And you assume that from up there, one could witness the entire factory in action and handle some office work as well.
I think our best chances are up in the office.
Agreed.
So if
Definitely we
you
should
can
head up
only-
there.
Yeah, but we should go up the stairs quietly this time.
Yes, quietly this time. She turns and looks at Jonathan and Maze.
Are there any lights on? Is
No.
it dark or
It's all dark.
also in the office? It's dark.
Everything is dark. I mean, it's an abandoned factory. It's been seized.
Means windows are probably boarded up in some sections.
That is correct. Oh, that's actually a good point. On the side door, you saw a poster that was in French. I'm going to show it to you now, actually.
Ooh. Right.
Saeed, since you have that amazing recollection of how to speak French that none of us could even attempt to match, would you do us the honor of speed reading this French missive?
I'll try. Avis de saisie. So notice of seizure. Acquis de droit, l'usine de textile Mönch a été saisie par les gendarmes du protectorat français au Maroc en tant que mesure de guerre. Conformément aux lois en vigueur, cette saisie a été effectuée en réponse aux événements en cours dans la région, dans le but de préserver la sécurité publique et de maintenir l'ordre. Par conséquent, le protectorat français au Maroc revendique la possession et le contrôle de cette usine et de tous ses contenus à compter du 19e septembre. Toute tentative d'interférer avec cette saisie ou de reprendre possession de la propriété ou de ses contenus serait considérée comme une violation de la loi et pourrait donner lieu à des poursuites judiciaires. It basically says if we steal something, they will arrest us. Cet avis sert d'avertissement officiel à toutes les parties intéressées de cesser toutes les activités liées à l'utilisation ou à la propriété de cette usine et d'évacuer les lieux immédiatement. Le non-respect de cet avis peut entraîner une expulsion forcée de la propriété. Fait à Casablanca ce 18 jours de septembre 1939. Charles Noguet, it's the general, résident général du protectorat français au Maroc.
So
It basically says,
yeah,
that
give him a
if we go
basic
in
because
there-
I mean I have the give him a basic because then what I'll do is I will give you guys the actual translation of it. But go ahead and give us the basics.
it basically comes down to it's seized. If we go in there, they can arrest us, and we might go to court.
That is exactly right. The Mönch textiles factory has been seized by the gendarme of the French Protectorate of Morocco as a war measure in accordance with the laws in force. The seizure was made in response to ongoing events in the region with the aim of preserving public safety and maintaining order. Therefore, the French Protectorate in Morocco claims possession and control of this factory and all of its contents effective from September 19th. Any attempt to interfere with the seizure or to regain possession of the property or its contents will be considered a violation of the law and may result in legal proceedings. This notice serves as an official warning to all interested parties to cease all activities related to the use or ownership of this factory and to vacate the premises immediately. Failure to comply with this notice may result in forced expulsion from the property. Signed, Casablanca, this 18th day of September 1939. Charles Nogues, Resident General of the French Protectorate in Morocco. Where do you guys want to go?
Okay.
The
Up
office.
to the
Well,
office.
it's
Up to
too
the
late
office?
to turn back now.
Yeah, for sure.
We've already broken in now. It's too late. I mean, if we're going to get arrested, we might as well get arrested for having something on us. Can't get arrested if we're going to get arrested. I mean, goodness gracious.
Very well. Very
Yes.
well.
This is the reason why we have a lawyer with us. She basically knows our way around it.
Very true. The door to the office, when you guys approach the office via the stairway, is propped open by a wooden chair, which is paired to the office's desk. The nameplate on the door reads Dr. Otto Schnabel, with a second nameplate just below it that says Dr. Max Schnabel.
Brothers, perhaps.
Schnabel brothers.
What do you guys want to do?
Honestly, we're going to head in.
Okay. Two desks sit against adjacent walls within this office. Their drawers are open, and they look to be empty of all contents.
Let's look a little bit more closely. Maybe they forgot
Yeah.
something in a little...
Yeah, sure.
maybe
Spot
they
hidden
stashed
checks.
away.
Okay. A success from Voira. Voira, you note that although the desks and it seems that the entire office has been stripped empty, there is bolted to the steel floor beside each desk a safe. 2 safes in total. The doors to these safes are completely removed and are discarded to the side.
I guess that's one way to get into it. Just take the doors off.
Felix, you particularly know for sure because you have a specific lore sheet that I've given you access to. Please make a locksmith roll.
Sure thing. Success.
Solid.
50.
Yeah, you know that this is a special kind of safe that certainly you know that it was broken into by someone with the tools and ability to do so. And you'd also know about this type of safe because you have one that's just like it. It's a Liedman's Double Rotter 150. Its notoriety is throughout the community of people that you interact with. Something that people use when they really, really, really want to keep something safe. Yeah.
But this is essentially like the Fort Knox of safes.
Pretty
for the day.
much, yeah. Something that you note as well, Voira, with your spot hidden success, is that this safe probably housed some very important documents. You assume that they're the documents that were mentioned by Legionnaire X. And you also see that there was some carelessness, unfortunately, by those that conducted the search and seizure of this particular factory, because on the inside of the office door are 2 sets of car keys.
That could be helpful. let's just go ahead and take a closer look at those and
Okay.
spend some time.
Walk over to the car
And then she
keys.
slips
Yeah.
them in her pocket.
Yeah, as you slip them into your pocket, you see that the logo emblazoned on them is Mercedes-Benz.
We must take a closer look at these things as well.
Well, if they've got these kind of cars, then that explains why they've got really high-tech safes that they have, because that stuff is that sounds like the Fort Knox of today's days. It's quite hard to get into unless you know what you're doing. So they must have something here, or had something here.
While Voira and Felix are casing the office, Maaz, Saeed, and Jonathan, what are you up to?
I'd like to poke around down on the floor.
Okay. You are looking around down on the floor. You sort of look around all of these different machines. Clearly, they're textile machines, right? Saeed and Jonathan, you see Maaz sort of clomping about, not really giving a crap about how loud he's being, sort of like picking up a machine, whatever, throwing it over his shoulder, dropping a huge sort of metallic device that it just resounds throughout the entire factory. Saeed, where are you? Are you up on the second floor on the balcony, or are you down on the main floor?
No, I'm up on the balcony. I'm overlooking the whole thing.
And Jonathan, yourself?
Yeah, where am I? Probably the same. I guess one of the things I was doing, because I feel quite impotent at the moment, where with what everyone else is doing, this isn't my forte. Is probably just trying to listen out for anything out of the ordinary. You know, Maaz is making quite the noise.
Go for a listen check then.
Okay. There it is.
You don't hear anything. You sure can, if you'd like, yeah.
So I think I would like to.
All right, go for it. Double failure.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, the sounds that Maaz is making down there on the main floor, they like deafen your sensitive ears. You're just used to calm, quiet, and you just see this guy just stomping around down there, just machinery, just throwing Carol to the wind, and you're just like, oh God, that man. Like it frustrates you. It frustrates you. You grit your teeth in frustration.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. I'm grimacing and trying to focus.
Yeah, you turn away, Saeed. You see Jonathan just gritting his teeth. He closes his eyes. He grimaces. He turns away from looking down on the floor, and then you focus down on where Maaz is standing, and you note that just beyond Maaz, where he's trouncing the interior, you see there's a stairwell that goes down.
Maaz, is that a stairwell over there?
I'll head towards it.
Okay. You do, in fact, see at the opposite end of the building stairs leading downward.
Absolutely.
Oh, wait. Okay. I'm coming down. Wait for me.
Maaz, make a spot hidden roll, please, for me.
I think that's a fail.
That is a failure. Do you want to push it?
Sure.
Okay. God damn, Maaz. Yeah, it's just too dark to see anything beyond the stairwell. But whatever is down in there, you could have sworn you saw something. Just for the briefest second. Looked like 2 pinpricks of light, but then they just went away like that. Make a sanity roll, please, for me. Very nice. Whatever it was, maybe it was just a trick of the light.
I'll wait for Saeed.
Okay.
I'm running along the machines oh, okay, yeah, you're here. Okay, don't go down there without me.
Okay.
So
those of you who are still up on the second floor, Jonathan, Voira, and Felix, you watch as Saeed descends to where Maaz is on the ground floor.
So I'm assuming this is like below street level, right?
It seems that the stairwell would bring you to some kind of a basement below the street. Yeah, that's correct.
Is there a light switch?
You don't see it. Saeed, make a spot hidden roll. Would you like to push it? Or would you like to use
Maybe I
luck?
should.
It's only 3 points of luck.
I could do that. Yeah, I'll use luck. So do I need to click something or just
It's just
deduct
edit
3
mode
points?
and reduce your luck
Yeah.
by 3, and that makes it a success.
Okay.
All right, so that turns your spot hidden failure into a success. You do, in fact, see, sort of squinting in the darkness, you are able to see a power box that's attached to the wall right near the stairwell.
Okay. I think I have something here. It's a power box. Wait. Okay. So I click it.
Yeah, make a you notice it's been damaged. It would need repair. Do you have do you have
okay.
mechanical repair as a skill?
I've got electric repair.
Yeah, sure,
Not
that
very
works.
good,
Let's do with that. What's a failure? You could that's more than 10 points, unfortunately. That's 12 points. So you could push it if you'd like.
I'll try.
Okay. Oh dear. Saeed, you're like putting all these like fuses together, and you like pull the lever, and there's a shower of sparks, and you get blasted with electrical energy, and you take 1 point of damage. You fall to the floor. You guys all hear this sort of raz of electric energy, and Saeed sort of yelps, and he falls down to the ground.
Turn to Voira and I go, "Oh, that Maaz again, isn't it?"
Very likely, darling. He does seem a bit on the brutish side.
I'll head over there.
Okay. You head down the stairs. Felix, you join them?
Yes, I do. I'm shaking my head as we're walking along, just like,
Fair
can't
enough.
take an elephant into a jewelry shop, can we?
No, dear.
Maaz is helping Saeed off the ground. Saeed looks a little charred. His fez has come off, which he grabs immediately, replaces back on his head, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Dusts off his suit. And you guys all see this sort of smoking power box where it seems to be attached to the wall.
I don't know why you were bothering with that anyway. We don't want the lights on. They'll know we're here.
In the
Okay,
basement.
I'm sorry.
Are there windows upwards, or are we completely submerged underground?
I mean, you haven't gone down the stairs yet. There are second floor windows in the in the factory, or in the textile factory, yes. But the first floor of the factory in which you're on has no windows.
I'll head down the stairs.
Okay. Maaz heads down the stairs.
Be a little bit more quiet this time. You're banging around and such. You could wake the dead, darling. A little bit more calm.
Could there be some way to go ahead and actually fashion a little torch from just any rubble that might be here that we could actually just be able to make a torch out of?
I mean, you all have, those of you who may indulge in the vice of smoking may want to use like a lighter, perhaps, to tear off a piece of cloth from something, like perhaps from the textiles in the textile factory itself, and fashion a torch if you'd like. I can allow that if you'd like.
Sure.
Sure, there's a broomstick or something we could attach these strips of cloth to.
I love that idea. I love it.
Break it. We have 2. Or
At
3.
the end of the broom.
I'd say
At the end of
2
the
is
broom.
fine. Yeah, you could make 2 makeshift torches using some of the material. It's not going to last very long, but maybe like 15, 20 minutes at the most. You don't have any like camphor or any kind of flammable liquid. So we would just be burning the actual cloth.
Nobody
Fine,
has a
We
hidden
can do
stash
one
of
at a
whiskey.
time. Just in case.
Did anybody bring their whiskey?
Darn it.
Drink it.
Yes.
I drank
Different
it.
game.
Okay.
Alright.
Maaz descends into the basement. Who's descending with him?
I'm gonna follow him. I'm a bit unsteady on my feet still, but I'll follow him down.
Okay.
I
Matt.
will follow along to keep an eye on them.
All
I
right.
think we're all heading about that direction.
All right. All right.
Safety in numbers.
Absolutely. The
We're in the darkness.
basement is indeed, you were exactly right, pitch black. Besides the fact that you've got these torches, these makeshift torches. It's about half the size of the main floor, you discover. And as you look around, it seems like the basement does in fact seem to serve as storage. You see crates of thread, fabric lining the walls. You see a large work table with various heavy-duty tools. You assume they seem to be some kind of welding tools or steel cutting in their nature, sitting in the center of the room. You also look at this work table as you approach, and you see that there's some kind of strange piece of metal that's been welded together. It's some kind of almost crescent-shaped, perhaps like some kind of a frame, a steel frame of welded rebar steel. Each of these pieces of this strange metallic object is about 2 meters long and about 1 meter wide. You estimate that it's probably pretty heavy, maybe over 150 kilograms.
I want to inspect it.
Yeah, I will look at this as well. This is interesting.
Yeah, make a spot hidden for me.
Ooh, I'll spend 3.
Okay, spend 3 luck. Go ahead and remove this from your luck. Make that a success. Maaz, do you want to do the same? Oh well, you can't
No.
luck that. So you want to push or not?
No, I'll let it go.
Felix, you note that the work on these frames seems to include bolts and fasteners that are used to connect these pieces of metal together in some kind of way that denotes that it is purposeful. It's not like artistic of any kind. It's very utilitarian. You also sort of like push it, and you see it doesn't budge. It's heavy as hell. If you wanted to lift it, you'd need some pretty strong guys.
Deutsche Gründlichkeit.
God bless you. I will say as well that these frames, they don't really feel like textile manufacturing in
I was
purpose.
just about to ask that question, yeah.
I wonder what they were making.
Oh, they're definitely not making curtains, that's for sure.
Does anyone else
Definitely.
want to make a spot hidden roll of any kind?
I'll do
Sure.
one. Yeah.
Who hasn't done one? Saeed with a hard success. Saeed, you don't necessarily see anything on the table, but as you smell the air, you smell like it smells like rotten meat somewhere in the room. And you look where your nose seems to find that stench the strongest, and you see a square outline on a carpet under the work table, which is slightly raised.
I
Meaning that
approach
something
it.
is underneath the carpet of square shape.
Guys, there's something under here. And
Let's take a look.
I smell rotting flesh. What were they doing down here?
I don't know, we'll need better lighting if we're going to look down there. That welding stuff you said from before, is that something that's portable and is gas operated, or is it a different kind?
It is not portable. These are machines that are essentially very heavy, and they are not gas. Well, I guess they would be probably gas operated, yeah, but they wouldn't be portable.
Alright. Okay, is there a long hose for this, or is it just basically only a certain distance?
I would say that it's based on distance. It's not like you could move it from like one place to the other.
Okay. Is there enough to be able to go ahead and be able to use it to be able to light up down into that square hole that we found?
No. It wouldn't be used to
Okay.
to light the hole if you wanted to.
Okay.
But I like the
Fine.
idea.
All right.
Jonathan will take out his handkerchief and put that over his nose and cautiously head towards the source of the stench, providing other people are following him, of course.
Okay.
He's standing back like a good 2-3 feet.
Okay.
I'll follow him.
Okay. You guys are all clustered around the carpet.
Yeah.
I'll peel back the carpet.
Okay. You throw the carpet aside, Maaz. It reveals a wooden trapdoor hatch, and as you peel the carpet away, a scent of decay rises from the cracks within the wooden trapdoor.
I'm gonna draw my sword and then open the trapdoor.
Okay. You guys watch as Maaz opens the trapdoor, and as he does so, a rancid filth issues forth and almost attacks you. I would like all of you to make con rolls. All of you seem to be perfectly fine, except for Voira, unfortunately.
I'll take those 6 points.
You can take those 6 points of luck? Heck yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, fine. Bloop, fine. Fantastic.
I'm very sensitive nose, darling.
Understandable. Very nice. You see, after composing yourself, after being just assaulted by this odor, that there is a steel ladder that leads down into the pitch black darkness.
You'll see anything?
I want to put one of the torches down in there and see if I can see anything.
You put the torch down there, it seems like the ladder goes forever. Certainly beyond the light of your torch.
All right, I'm gonna sheathe my sword and start climbing down the ladder.
Okay. You guys watch as Maaz descends into the darkness.
Turn to the rest and go, he's very forthright, isn't he?
He just jumps right on in. I see he didn't actually just jump.
Maaz,
Definitely has
How's
balls.
the dead down there?
he's like, must advance the plot. Maaz, did you bring the torch with you?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys watch as this sort of torch descends 5 meters, 10 meters, 15 meters,
That's a long way down.
20 meters. The light from his torch is no longer in view. Maaz, from your perspective, you go down 5 meters, 10 meters, 15 meters, and then your feet hit the ground. You look up, you do not see the square outline of the trapdoor again. Strange.
Look around me. What do I see?
Okay. Here we go.
Why did you say that?
I'm gonna redraw my sword.
Okay, shing! And your torch and your sword outstretched. Your torch alights on 3 things. First of all, I will explain to you that the room or space that you're in is more reminiscent of a dungeon than anything else, in that you see concrete brick walls and a sand-strewn floor. The material that you find in this space is, even with your experience and background, absolutely mind-shatteringly terrifying. You see bone saws, scalpels, drills, and other various power tools littering the room, some hanging on the wall coated with dried, reddish fluid attached to their sharpened ends. And on the walls are others, as well, lying on tables or just haphazardly thrown on the floor. There is dried blood covering the tools and staining the floor itself. And the source of this overpowering stench is apparent. It is the smell of rotting flesh and blood. Please make a sanity check. You've seen it all.
Yeah.
You only take 1 point of sanity loss. The second thing that you see, although your gorge rises at it and you're able to keep it down as your torch moves in an easterly direction, is an emaciated and decaying corpse reposing on a steel operating table, strapped down in wrist and ankle restraints. Sections of bone are visible through the coagulated viscera and rotting flesh. Next to this surgical table is a switch lever with cables entering into what appears to be a power box, and then trailing out of the room connected to the building's potential power source, you assume. More cables lead from this switch underneath the table.
Okay.
Please make a sanity check. That is a failure. I'm going to roll a d2. You take 2 more points of sanity loss. And last but not least, a large steel cylindrical device standing upright against a corner of the room. Directly beside this cylinder is some kind of terrarium, filled roughly halfway to the top with yellow sand. A mesh screen covers the top. On the surface of the sand, although you dare not go near it, you see several large, seemingly dead, insects. Please make a natural world roll as you stare at them through your torchlight. You do not know what these kinds of creatures are. Some kind of insect. The device or canister besides this terrarium is about a meter and a half long, maybe 40 centimeters wide, or in diameter, I should say. You see a panel on the top of the canister. Perhaps it could be opened. And this canister seems to be, in some way or other, welded to the terrarium itself. You're not quite sure why. Please make an intelligence roll or an int roll. See if you've ever seen this kind of thing before. Okay, that is a success. You know what this kind of canister is, in fact. You know that it is a modified airdrop canister. The kind used to supply troops in battle delivering aid and to remote areas. Do you have any military experience? I can't remember, Maaz.
My father was a member of the French Foreign Legion.
Yeah, then you know exactly that this is this kind of thing that they would drop out of planes in areas that were too remote to be delivered to by trucks.
Okay.
That's it. You don't need to make any more sanity checks. But you've been shook, as the kids say nowadays.
All right, I would like to, I guess, open the canister.
Okay. You walk over to the canister, and you see that it is full of yellow sand.
I'd like to see if there's anything in the sand.
You reach into the sand, start to sift through it. In your hand, feels something smooth. And then it jitters. Make a sanity roll. You withdraw your hand. You only take 1 point of sanity loss. But whatever you touched, it was alive.
Putting the lid back on.
Thunk. What do the rest of you guys do? I think this is probably taking a good 5 minutes. You just watched Maaz descend into darkness and, well, we're done here.
Thanks for backing me up, guys.
Yeah, for real. No one wanted to go in there. This is the best part of Call of Cthulhu is like, some guys go into the basement. Anyone else? Anyone?
Felix would go to the hatch and yell down, going, "Is everything all right down there?"
Do I hear
You
anything?
hear nothing.
Mars?
Well, maybe one of us should go at least part way down and see if he fell into the abyss.
Well, since I was... Do you want me to go, or would you like to go, my lady?
Well, goodness gracious, I guess I shall. Men taking too long to decide.
I feel
I head down.
Okay, you head down. You guys go down the ladder in the same fashion. Those of you who watch from above see them descend into darkness, with one of them holding the torch, the second torch, and they disappear from view, leaving those of you above in complete and total darkness, because you have no torches. I think that's Saeed, right? It's just it's Saeed and Jonathan. Wait, yeah. Yeah, it's Saeed and Jonathan, because Maaz went first, then Voira and Felix, and then Saeed and Jonathan are just standing there in the dark, like,
I'll get my lighter out, and I'll just have a little
Perfect.
flame from my lighter. Just to cast a bit of a shadow aside, and I'm just like,
Mars, darling, can you
we
hear
the
me?
only
Where are you?
ones here?
You reach the basement, Voira. Maaz, you hear a voice, the voice of Voira coming from behind you. You spin from having touched whatever the heck was in that canister, and you see Voira and Felix. I can't remember who was holding the other torch. I think it might have been Felix. Am I wrong?
Yep.
Yeah. Felix and Voira, you now see the exact same things that Maaz did, as your eyes focus on these two horrific objects. The bloody tools everywhere, and this horrible figure on the table. Please, both of you make sanity rolls. Okay. Each of you take one, well, two more, sorry. One more for each of you, sorry. Okay. Felix, because you had an extreme success, you take 0 points of sanity loss on that second one. I don't know what you've done in your past that made you not want to give a shit about somebody who's been strapped to a table and tortured to death. Whatever, it's totally fine. But Voira, you take 2 points of sanity loss, and Felix, you take 1.
Seen too many movies, that's all it was.
I
Too many
mean-
movies, seen it all.
Those torture porn movies in the 30s were really something. I mean, jeez. Jonathan, Saeed, are you descending or staying?
What do you think, Jonathan? Should we go down there? Should we follow them?
You first.
I love the dynamic
if,
here.
If,
This is so
if you,
good.
if you insist, I will go first. Yes.
You do insist.
I start descending,
All right.
That's,
checking the little lighter above me.
not going
Absolutely.
to
Absolutely.
Jonathan's not going to descend, but he's going to pull out an object from the inside of his jacket. Looks like an owl figurine.
Jonathan.
Waiting for Saeed to disappear.
Yeah, Saeed disappears completely. Saeed just descends. He's got the lighter. He descends. And Jonathan, you take out the owl figurine.
Archie, my darling, I need a favor.
Okay. When you say, Archie, my darling, I need a favor, a voice in your head says, Yes, Sahib.
I feel like everyone is descending into some sort of madness by going to what smells like death. Wouldn't do me a favor and discreet when you go down there, but let me know what is there and if there is anything useful for our attentions. My kind Archie, thank you. And Archie's short for Archimedes, by the way.
Yes. This stentorian, low, basso profundo voice in your head says, "Sahib, I would take great care. There are things below which are not of your world."
I gathered that much, Archie. Thank you. Is there anything we should make note of down there? Is there anything that you could help us with?
There is a stench of evil in this place, Sahib. If you find something in this place, I would take care to leave things as they are, lest you may awaken things that should not be.
So, are you telling me, Archie, to not take something, or to take something? You said two contrasting things there. Sir?
Archie clarifies himself and says, "You must take care, but do not take things."
Very well. Are my friends in danger down there?
Archimedes no longer speaks.
Okay. Shit. I wipe my brow and then I descend.
Okay. In the darkness, I'd like you to make a dex roll.
Yeah, sorry, I took your lighter.
Yeah, he totally did. Saeed was like, "I'll take your light, it's fine," and then he's just like, "Oh shit!"
Oh, no.
So Jonathan's like, I'm coming, and you lose your grip on the ladder and fall. Saeed, you hear, "Ah!" and Jonathan lands in a heap next to you. You hear a crack. Jonathan grabs his leg, and you see a bone is sticking out of his knee.
Wasn't me this time.
Jonathan, take 2 points of damage.
No, Jonathan, are you okay? I help him up.
Do I look okay?
Well,
all of you hear
don't
the
think that's
screaming from Jonathan as he is now in the basement.
I don't think that bone's supposed to go there.
Think.
Oh dear. Okay.
Someone help me. I'm bleeding here.
Does anyone have medical aid?
I'm checking.
I love that everyone's like, check it. Medical aid? Anyone?
I will go over. I have something.
Okay.
Okay.
It's actually
I'm gonna
called
look at
first
this
aid, not medical aid. I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got aliens on the
First
brain.
aid.
You do not want me to bandage that leg.
Viora, you could use 9 points of luck.
She's
Sure.
sick.
Fantastic.
I'll do that.
You've got luck to spare. Viora, explain how you go over to Jonathan and ease this compound fracture in his leg.
I go over. Oh, darling, you must not think too hard. I take off my belt and put it in between his teeth, and then I take his belt and kind of wrap it and secure it.
It hurts like a bitch. But the good
Anybody
news is-
have that whiskey?
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I mean,
that.
I love the fact that you got that luck. Yeah, luckily you do
Sorry,
it the
I
right way. No, it's fine.
Trying to adjust, and
Jonathan, it hurts like hell, honestly. More pain than you've probably been in a very long time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Here's your lighter back.
That's great.
Can I see if there's any way to make more light in this room? Like, is there any piles of rags or anything?
You see light bulbs on the ceiling.
Is there a switch anywhere?
You do see a switch.
Can I flick it?
You flick the switch.
Turn it on?
Nothing happens.
Okay. And there's
Not
nothing
gonna
I can...
help. Did you not see the thing spark earlier?
I'm
No,
so
I was
very
just-
sorry about that.
I kind of was distracted with things in the office. I didn't know that there was an issue with the electrical problems. But, okay. Have the torches gone out by any chance, or they're starting to
They're getting
flicker out?
close. They're getting close, actually. They're probably close to being sputtering, I would say.
Okay. Is there any, like, rags or anything around the place, apart from what we've seen so far? Like,
Make a spot hidden roll.
okay. Oh, hello.
Felix Armand, as you search around for something to light the sputtering remains of your torch, you look in the opposite direction of the horrible items and objects that you have borne witness to. You look in the opposite direction, and you see, attached to the wall, a portrait. This is a portrait of someone who is inimitable, someone who has been in the newspapers for many months, if not years now, so you recognize him immediately. It is a portrait of Adolf Hitler. And this portrait resides between two black, red, and white banners, one bearing a swastika, and the other bearing a sigil, which I'm going to show you now, which I'm going to ask that you roll an occult roll to determine if you know what this sigil actually means.
I'll be so laughing.
I'm going to push that.
Could I also make an occult roll?
All of you can.
An extreme success.
Very nice.
Okay.
Deutsches.
Okay. I won't touch the one with the sigil on it, but I'll grab the poster and whatever else, leaving that the thing on with the sigil.
Mm-hmm.
I will grab it, bunch it up, and put it in the middle of the room.
Okay.
And I will go ahead and use a very special thing I have me on my little piece of scroll that I have.
Yeah, you can. What do you do with it?
Okay. I speak a few words in Latin, which I can somehow I've learned to read and use. Hold on, let me just do a quick run through.
Yeah, absolutely. Hic, haec, hoc, huius, huius, huius.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Oh wait, this something does a little bit different to what I was hoping it was going to do. But can I do it to light this this stuff up?
Let me check your character and see what we're referring to here. Sorry.
Yeah. It's called something special.
Yeah. Let me find it here. This is Felix. Your something special is, and yes, which is, I would say absolutely it would light it on fire.
Cool. Thank you. So I will need to do one particular thing to. Okay, so I'll take 3 sanity down, 3 sanity for that.
Oh boy. Okay, so that's total of 5 so far.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alright, and let there be light.
Have you matched your daily sanity loss maximum? Remember, if you take 1/5 of your maximum sanity,
I'm
bad
down
things
to.
happen.
I've used 4 so far. Basically, a total of 4 has been used.
So, sorry, apologies. Let me just check your character sheet here. Yeah, if you'd go up to 16, you would go temporarily indefinitely insane. So you've only taken 4 points of sanity, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That's
cool.
correct.
Cool. So you haven't taken 5 in one shot at all.
No.
Oh, cool. Then you're safe for now. Very nice.
Yes.
Okay. Saeed, do you need to do a sanity check in the basement? I guess it depends on where everybody was and whether or not those torches lit up those areas.
Yeah.
Let's roll a d2. Let's see if you caught sight of them or not. 1 yes, 2 no. Oh dear. That's a yes. So, go ahead and make sanity rolls. Looks like Jonathan's already doing it.
So that's 3 white, 3 right?
Two sanity rolls. One for the bloody tools and one for the thing on the table, shall we say.
And can I push that one?
You cannot push a sanity roll.
Okay.
Failed one.
Failed 1, so you would take 2 points of sanity loss. Jonathan. Saeed, you succeeded on one and you failed on the other, so you also take 2 points of sanity loss. Let's go back to this sigil that's on the other banner, yeah? Let's see who got an extreme success. That is Saeed Kuzam. Saeed, you know this sigil to be the sigil of the Ahnenerbe. Now, for those of you who are history buffs, this was an actual group within the Nazi regime. You know that the Ahnenerbe were a group that were attempting through a variety of means to establish that the German people were actually descendants of the Aryan race, and in doing so would foster the idea that the German people were in fact the progenitors of all intelligence, wit, and civilization in the known world, and therefore were the only ones fit to become the master race. The Ahnenerbe were tasked with appropriating information around the world that would support this idea.
Nice
These are
to know that as well.
Yes, Jonathan. I would say perhaps you know a little bit less than Saeed. But yes, you understand what it means.
These guys are bad news. These are the extremists.
I've not heard anything good about these.
If I'm reading this room correctly, I think they might have been experimenting to see if they could if they could fact check that they are in fact the superior race. They are testing people.
Yes. Is that dead? I point to the body.
You look at the body on the table? This decaying corpse on the table, yeah? You want to go over and take a look? I mean, you can if you want. It's not like it's...
Do you want to get a bit closer?
If you want to. It's fine.
I mean, yeah, I'm hobbling. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, hobble over. It's easier to catch you.
With me lighting up everything from that, with the paper and whatnot, did that actually light up the room a bit more for us to see in here?
I think it did, actually. Yeah, I mean, you lit one of the banners, right? You lit the swastika banner? Yeah, I mean, it goes up like a torch, essentially, right? Now, like, there's not like a pall of smoke filling the room, but it is certainly, exiting up probably through the hole in the ceiling. But I think that, yeah, it's lighter. And I think that enables you, Felix, since you're right near the wall with the portrait, to see that underneath the portrait of Adolf Hitler, there is a smaller portrait directly underneath it.
Okay. What's this smaller portrait?
You look at the portrait, and you see that the portrait itself is of a man in a black SS uniform. A gas mask covers his face entirely, so that you do not see any of his features. You see a peaked cap sits atop his head. And this same insignia, the Ahnenerbe insignia, adorns the breast pocket of his uniform in place of what would normally be the Iron Cross. And on the lower end of the frame is a name. It says, Urs König, Oberführer Schutzstaffel Ahnenerbe. And that is where we're going to take our break. So, we'll come back in 5 minutes, folks. Don't go anywhere. More Call of Cthulhu, the Blessed and the Blasphemous. In 5 minutes. All right, we're back. Thanks for coming back to us, folks. As a quick reminder, If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you very much for doing so. Go ahead and click on the like, subscribe, and the bell icon if you want to see more Slices and Dice's content coming your way in the near future. Without further ado, let's get back into it. You guys have discovered some pretty horrific shit, and it looked like, although I could be wrong, that Jonathan Quayle or others may be heading towards that table.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! That's what I'd like to hear.
Hell yeah.
Take the guy who has been
Dang, with a
broken
broken
and
leg.
take the guy with the broken leg and head him on over to that desiccated corpse. Absolutely.
Saeed is feeling so guilty. He's gonna support him and go with him towards the table.
What a guy. What a guy.
Like,
Amazing.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Thank you, Saeed.
All right. So, yeah, I mean,
From here on out.
this, as I was saying before, the corpse is on the table. It's strapped down, wrists and ankles, bone visible through the coagulated viscera, as I said before, sort of reminiscent of the bone sticking out of your own leg. Cables are trailing from the table to the wrists and ankle bindings on the body. And as you get closer, you see that there are metal pins inserted through these bindings into the wrists and the ankles. If you want, you could make an intelligence roll, Jonathan.
Sure.
You surmise that, seeing as these metal leads are inserted into the body, and those metal leads are in some way attached to these cables, that if these cables are indeed attached to a power source, that it would be feasible to run a current into the actual body itself from this power source.
I see. Seems we have a Mary Ann Shelley here.
What's perhaps more disturbing is that as you approach the body, you see that in the center of the head of the body is another metal pin. And this metal pin is again attached to that same circuit of wires under the table.
Yes. I turn. I guess I'm with Saeed, aren't I, at this point? So
Are you saying that? Are you saying that they were trying to animate this body?
I think that it looks obvious to me, Saeed. I would say so.
Well, I hope. Well,
Very uneasy feeling about this.
yes, yes.
Saeed, make a spot hidden roll.
The power source. Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. I'm just saying he's right next to you, so I would say that while you're looking at the body, he could make a spot hidden roll as well. Yeah, as you're looking the body up and down, and Jonathan looks at the metal leads, you see sort of like trace the leads under the table, and you see that under the table is this power source, and next to the power source is a big old lever.
Don't touch that.
Are we sure this is a good idea? Should we be touching this? Last lever I touched almost fried me.
You seem to have a relationship with electricity. Maybe we should leave this one alone. I'm quite superstitious, and I think something bad would happen if we did this. Saeed.
I am pretty sure something bad already happened here. Poor man.
I'm not sure we should be messing with this. I'm not sure we should be touching or removing things from this space. I have a real sense of evil around here.
Is there any kind of paperwork lying around that might explain what they were trying to do here?
Make a spot hidden roll. An extreme success. Maaz Vandenberg. Captain America. You are...
Find the logbook.
Yes, exactly. Dear Diary, today... No, you do not find a logbook, but what you do in fact find is just under the table, or thereabouts, there, as you're sort of looking it up and down, you see a drawer, a metal drawer that's sort of fastened into the desk/table near this body. And when you open it, you see a variety of very, very old pieces of parchment.
I'm going to take a look at them.
Now, you know that if you picked them up and handled them improperly, they would most likely fall to pieces.
Handle them very carefully.
Make an archaeology roll, if you so desire.
I'll let somebody else handle them.
There you go. Good idea. Maaz is like, archaeology, shit. Nope. Hey, guys!
Can I be able to look and appraise these to determine anything out of them without touching them?
Yes, you can. You sort of stand next to Maaz, and you see that on the parchment is written a variety of sentences in Arabic.
Okay.
There are 3 of them.
Alright.
Can I try to read it?
Sure. Are you skilled in Arabic?
I am.
Apparently.
Fantastic. Give me 1 second here.
Is there any way I can tell how old this might be? Or is that going to be archaeology itself?
That is archaeology 100%.
Then I will forget that as well.
All right, fair. I mean, they seem to be extremely old.
I ain't touching that shit.
Mm-hmm. That's totally fair. Hold on, let me find it. Where is that? Okay. Give me 1 second here, folks. I'm just trying to find the actual information about these texts. Is that here? No, it must be... Nope, it's not there. Sorry, folks. Apologies. Here we go. Found it. Oh, yes. Okay, so if you would like to read it, absolutely. There are 3 of them. Make the appropriate Arabic rolls. Is Arabic your own language or no? Oh, you've done... Okay, well, that is an extreme success on your Arabic roll. So you recognize... Here, I'll give you the 3 papers. This is what these 3 papers look like in Arabic. I'll show them to you all. That's the first page. Sorry, that's the 3rd page. It's the 2nd page. And that is the 1st page. These are clearly written in a very stylized Arabic. And you start to read the 1st page, translated. So please, by all means, Maaz, read us the 1st handout in English.
Let's see, and deep within the tomb, Al-Hazred. Al-Hazred. There we go. Al-Hazred stood over the open sarcophagus of Minas, who was dead for 3,000 years. I stood there silently as Al-Hazred, the sorcerer, called upon lightning in the air and commanded it to flow into the lifeless body of the demon pharaoh. Minas, who would rise in subservience to Al-Hazred and lead his army of ghouls to Irem. And for the words of command, there were no tongue. I understood, but they commanded the risen pharaoh, and it obeyed. I wondered, was it dead or alive, or something in between?
As you read this, either out loud, I assume you read this in your own mind rather than out loud, but I could be wrong. Do you read this out
Yes.
loud, or you read
Oh, no.
this in your own mind?
In my mind.
As you guys watch, as he reads these pieces of parchment, or at least the first one, his eyes start to get extremely wide, and his hands begin to involuntarily shake. You take 1 point of sanity loss. Do you wish to go on to the second page?
Well, I would have to handle it to read the second page, correct?
You don't have to handle it. You could read it right there in the desk.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Does the desk drawer come out?
No. You'd have to pull it out.
I'd have to pull the desk drawer out or the papers out.
You could do either.
I would like to try to pull the desk drawer out without damaging the papers.
Make a strength check. Maaz puts his foot on the desk and yanks, and the metal desk drawer pulls itself free of the desk with the papers inside.
All right. Does anybody have a bag?
Oh, Maaz, I'm sorry, I don't have a bag.
Don't think we were carrying bags since we just came from the party.
Well, a satchel, something. Is there anything like that laying around, a satchel, or...
No, there's nothing laying around like that.
Oh,
Everything
this
has
could be
been cleared. Certainly from upstairs, and whatever's down here, I don't think you'd want to take it with you.
Wasn't this the papers that we were tasked to find?
I mean, you're not sure.
Okay.
These don't seem to be a dossier of any kind. These seem to be papers that were left here.
Okay. Never mind, I'm gonna...
Legionnaire X told you that the dossier of papers was taken by the Sûreté, by the actual gendarmerie, when they closed down this place. So it would be with the Sûreté.
Alright, I'm gonna just set it back down on the floor.
Okay. You watch as Maaz puts this drawer full of papers down on the floor.
Is there anything else of interest in here?
Not that you could see.
Okay.
Saeed, could you escort me to the papers?
Yes,
treat.
of course.
I guess I will tell everybody that the papers are talking about resurrecting an ancient demon.
Did you read them all?
No, I only read the first one. That was enough.
It does confirm our suspicion. They were trying to raise something.
Well, this
Don't
must
turn
be
on the
what,
power.
Okay.
Well, he obviously doesn't want to read them. Does anybody else want to read the other pages?
I'm interested. I'm keen if you're
I can
game,
give it a
if
go
you're-
if you want.
Whoever wants to, they're right there in the drawer.
Extreme success.
Okay. Saeed, you look down at the second page. And I would like you to read for us the translation of the second page.
We approached on camel, hoping the city would be a refuge from the scorching sun, and standing on the mountain overlooking the city, Al-Hazret summoned a swarm. They rose behind us, appearing from nothing, clicking and humming and vibrating, as many as the stars in the heavens. They descended upon the city, casting a shadow and blocking out the sunlight. And even from atop the mountain we heard the anguish in the city below, and within mere moments it ended.
So ominous.
Yes, very ominous.
Did you say that out loud?
did say this out loud.
I would like everyone in the sound of Saeed's voice to make a sanity check, please.
Including me?
You do not need to make a sanity check because in reading it, you simply take sanity damage.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Those of you who failed... Sorry, those of you who succeeded will only take 1 point of sanity. Those of you who failed will take 1 point of sanity. Saeed will take 3 points of sanity.
Okay.
Well, that definitely does not sound good.
As the sound of Saeed's voice, like as he's reciting these words to you, those of you who failed the sanity check, you feel like your hairs begin to, again, sort of frick up on their own, and it's almost like Saeed's voice becomes like preternaturally low. Like you hear him as he's saying it, he's just going, like he's saying like, and they descended upon the city, casting a shadow and blocking out the sunlight, and even from atop the mount we heard the anguish. The city. And then it's done.
So only the people that failed heard it like that.
That's correct.
I'll probably have that entranced look and just be shaking my head as if I'm trying to shake off the cold shivers.
Oops, sorry, guys.
All good, all good.
That.
There's still 1 page left.
Should I read the next one or?
I'm
Read it
going
over
to
you
look at
and read it in your head.
I'm going to go over to the sand that they opened up from before.
The sand canister?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, you walk
is
over
there
there.
like a? Yeah, I walk over there. Is there any like tools or anything like anything that I can use to move the sand around with without touching it?
Yeah, I mean, you probably could, like, grab a pair of pliers.
Yep. I'll shift the sand around to look at exactly from what Maaz, was it Maaz or Saeed? Maaz.
It was Maaz, yeah.
Maaz had encountered.
Okay,
Do,
so you
do I see him doing that?
you see him walk over, grab the pliers, and open the tin.
There's something alive in there.
Okay. I still continue, and I'll just shift and move the sand away
Okay.
to see if there's anything in there.
You do so. You start moving the tin around, and you don't need to make a spot hidden roll, because the orange light from the flaming banner is playing over what you're doing, so that you're able to see very smooth, sort of grayish, green, white, almost in spots, smooth ovoid shapes. Maybe 15, 20 centimeters long.
Is it moving?
You don't see it moving.
Did you say there was something in the sand?
Yes.
Was it moving?
Yes.
Softly poke at it with the pliers.
You poke at it with the pliers, you hear it.
Okay.
You see a small crack in the surface.
Oh dear. Oh, is the canister itself, is it a bottom or is it, what is it? How does it open?
It has a top.
It has a top? I'm gonna upside down.
Dump it?
Put the canister back on top of it.
Oh, you're just gonna like that?
Yep,
Got
just to go, yep, you're gonna stay like that.
Oh, so wait, sorry, you put the top back on, or you just dump the whole thing with all the sand out and put the canister on top of it?
So
Or
it hasn't been poured out, has it?
No, it hasn't been. It's still got all the sand inside.
Okay, I put the lid back on. I thought it was tipped out.
There you go. Put the pliers down, walk back to the group.
I'm holding the canister in hand, play like this. Going,
Okay. It's heavy.
Okay. What does the third page say, please? I think that's kind of important.
Saeed, do you wish to read the page?
I rolled a hard success.
Fantastic. I will give you the page to read.
Not out loud.
No,
In your
this time I
mind.
will do it in my mind.
All right, Saeed. Read away.
Upon the backs of Al-Hazret yoke, ghouls and beasts, the stones for a monument were carried. They crossed the desert and mountains and forests towards Irem, the great city of pillars. The monument was to be built of flesh and blood and bone and rock, and those it was erected for would appear before us, and we would share their power. Al-Hazret trusted me, for I was loyal, and my womb brother walked with us, and he too was trusted. We knew that we were destined for a glorious purpose, and Al-Hazret called us blessed.
Blessed. As you say the word blessed, it comes just instinctively, accidentally out of your mouth. In Arabic. It vomits forth from your mouth. Those of you who know Arabic know what he has just said.
I hope that's you just going ahead and actually excusing yourself from sneezing or something, because that didn't sound right.
Saeed, you take 5 points of sanity damage. This is a big deal, because this is in one shot. Saeed starts to scream. Okay, so please make an intelligence roll. And fail it, please. Oh, dear.
Ooh.
That is temporary insanity, sir. Here we go. This is a bout of madness.
I just fall to the ground, shaking.
You can't push to fail, right?
Unfortunately not. I wish you could. Now, but the intelligence rolls for these kinds of things, they're kind of an important thing. So this is a real-time bout of madness. Here we go. I think you have to roll a d10. Yeah, bouts of madness summary. So there we go. Temporary insanity. Where is it? Where's my table? Where's my table of madnesses? Oh, here we go. Bout of madness. Bouts of madness summary table. Where's the tables? I know there's tables here, folks. Maybe it's under this table? Tables. Where are all the tables?
Table under that table, under that table.
There should be tables. I want tables. Hold on.
Just don't flip the switch under the table.
Just don't flip the switch under the table because there's tables with tables. Here we go. I think I found it. Gosh darn it, Call of Cthulhu. Why can't you just make things easy and just tell me exactly what I can do? Either roll on table 8 Bads of Madness, or the keeper may choose an appropriate option. You know what? Forget about tables. I don't need no stinking tables. I'm just gonna make you go temporarily insane and have some crazy shit happen to you. What would your, Saeed, what would you say your greatest fear would be?
I think it's the feeling of having no power, to be powerless, and to be overwhelmed.
Okay. I think that you see before you these 4 other figures after you have sort of accidentally said this word, after promising that you would only read it in your head, and you see that they're all towering above you now, looking down like they are some kind of cyclopean monolithic beings that infuse you with abject just fear, that they will cast you aside as if you are nothing, that you have no meaning to them whatsoever, that you are stupid, that you are inconsequential. Saeed falls to his knees.
Saeed!
Darling.
I'm sorry.
It's
Sorry
just
about
a
what?
paper, darling. It's okay. It's okay. Gonna stroke the top of his head like he's a small child.
Yeah, he's still grabbing his knees.
darling.
He's just rolling back and forth.
It's okay, darling. It's okay.
I know you hate me. Just say so.
No, darling. If we hated you, we'd leave you here with these creatures. We wouldn't do that to you.
Yes, you would. You're gonna leave me
No.
because I'm
it's okay.
stupid and I shouldn't have read this.
It will be fine. You need to shake it off. Shake it off. You're smarter than this. Shake it off. Rub some dirt in it, whatever it takes. You're fine.
I don't know how long this goes on for, but I'll keep rocking back and forth as long as need be.
Okay. We'll keep you there for a bit, but not for too long.
Yeah.
All right. What
Has
else do you
anything
guys?
changed around us? Like Jonathan's looking around.
Yeah.
Just looking around like his shadows and.
Yeah. There's no apparent change in your environment.
Okay. Have we done everything we need to do here?
I feel we
I think
have.
so.
I think we should be very wary about that smaller portrait underneath the you-know-who over there.
I think we
It
should just
ain't
leave
got
everything
me.
here.
We leave everything.
Alright.
Saeed, come. Let's go and get you some fresh air, dear lad.
Okay.
So, as time rolls on throughout the evening, eventually Saeed does in fact recover, although he now has these sort of bloodshot eyes, dark circles under them. He's clearly been affected by something. But you're able, slowly but surely, to make yourselves scarce from the factory, having found some kind of evidence of some Nazi involvement, for sure, and are able to return back to Legionnaire X with your findings. Now, my friends, although it would be wonderful if I could give you every single portion of this particular scenario, I'm going to leave some of it to your discovery on the actual full-length campaign. So we're going to skip forward in time to some degree. We're going to skip forward to a point in time that the five of you have indeed returned to Legionnaire X and have indeed spoken to him about what you found in the textile factory. And you have determined that the Nazis are involved, and that there are several people in Casablanca who might know of the whereabouts of this dossier Mönch. One of whom is the current Sûreté officer underneath General Charles Nogue. And he is a man by the name of Colonel Maurice Herviot, or Herviot. Probably pronouncing it horribly bad. Apologies. He looks like this gentleman. I'm going to give you a handout. He looks like him. Colonel Maurice Herviot is a stern individual, perhaps just as stern as General Nogue. And you are able to determine that he has an office in the local Sûreté station here in Casablanca. After much discussion, you determine that he is most likely the person that would have the dossier Mönch, if anyone. I'm going to ask the five of you how you would determine to actually obtain this particular dossier. If you know that it is in his possession and it is inside the station. We'll make a few rolls, but not too many.
I think sounds like more of the stealth, sort of stealth approach, and try to break in would probably be the better option.
That's one, sure.
I think Jonathan would go frontal and probably try a charm offensive.
Okay.
Location.
Charm him. Got it. That's another way.
Somebody could try to intimidate him, but that would not be me.
Distinct possibility, although not necessarily the most successful one, possibly.
I think Said would also go for more persuasion and try to talk to him and see what we can find out, see if he slips up somehow, to determine if he has it and maybe where he has it.
Okay.
There's also bribery.
That is also a possibility.
Jonathan does have some money.
Mm-hmm. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask each of you, based on what you would surmise to be done here in order to obtain the dossier from Hervio, to roll the skill that you wish to use, and whatever is the highest roll, you're going to go with.
Okay.
I mean,
Who would like to go first?
Sure. So Felix is going to stealth his way in. Jonathan is going to charm his way in. Voira and or Maaz is going to either intimidate or potentially bribe their way in. Saeed is going to take the more psychology approach to see if they can sort of get inside this guy's head. No push is needed. We're just going to go with whatever's the highest roll. Okay. We're looking at an extreme success, charm. Maaz decides he wants to charm his way in. That's not like Maaz. But hell, sure, anything's possible in Call of Cthulhu. Why not? Maaz is like, I could charm him, and everyone's like...
My
It's like, I could
barbarians
just-
are famous for their charm.
I could just break into the building and steal it. Felix.
I mean, Jonathan has a newfound respect for Mars.
That's true. That's for sure. Jonathan, in the time frame between the what's it called and now, I would say that you've gained back, because it's been maybe a couple days, I'd say you've gained back 2 hit points. And you're walking with a very stylish cane now. Those of you who have lost, sanity only gain back 1 sanity point. Those of you who have lost hit points get back 2, because it's been 2 days. You recover hit points 1 per day. So if charm is the way in, it seems, you can certainly go ahead and enter the Sûreté Nationale in Casablanca. It's a 2-story Art Deco building in the Anfa district, which I'm going to bring you right now. The Anfa district is actually to the west of Casablanca. It's over here, on the western side of Casablanca.
Ooh.
Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit more for chat. Actually, zoom in, I should say. Bring it on over. Oops, there we go. So yeah, now you would go from the Transatlantic Hotel. Why am I doing that? Why is it doing that? Don't do that. It's moving my map. Why are you doing that, map? Stop that. My map is going crazy. I'm going to have to refresh the screen. Apologies for those of you watching at home. The screen is going to slightly refresh, and then it's going to come back in a second. There we go. With it, the music, hopefully, as well. Let's try that again. There we go. All right. So yeah, the Anfa district to the west. So charm, huh? Charm, no problem. I would say that you guys make it to the Sûreté Nationale building, which is like sort of probably in this area here. In this area, this general vicinity. And you make your way up to the 2nd floor of the Sûreté Nationale, and you see Colonel Hervio's office. Who wants to enter?
I'll enter.
Fantastic. You open the door. He sort of looks up from his desk. Good afternoon, monsieur. How can I help you?
I just wanted to talk to you. My dad had told me stories about you.
What has he told you?
I guess regale him with maybe one of the stories that my dad may have told me about their misadventures and defending the French Empire and junk like that.
Love it. Fantastic. He finds you interesting. Go ahead and make a charm roll. What are the rest of you guys doing? Are you guys just in the room, standing outside the door? What are you doing?
My first charm roll didn't work.
I'm with him.
Oh, that's a failure. And you can't spend luck on it. He says, Monsieur, I do not know of this person whom you speak. If he was a soldier, I am unfamiliar with him. I apologize that I just have no recollection of your father.
Totally understandable. Did anybody come in with me?
I would be coming in,
I'm
and I
with
will
you.
just be looking around.
Okay, Felix, make a spot hidden check.
Can I push it?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Sweet. Don't fail me now. Yes.
Success. Yeah, the second time you should have look over on the left wall. You're looking at all these pictures, of various criminals throughout the city, and then you look over and there's a safe on the other side of the room.
Hey. All right, I see it there. I won't say a word.
Okay. Anyone else go in there with them?
I followed in, yeah.
Cool. Monsieur, I see you have friends that you have brought with you.
I have. I'll introduce both of them.
Pleasure to meet you both.
I am Said. I am a Batilonly student. I studied in France for quite a while. I am most interested in what you do here.
How
And I'm
interesting.
Felix.
Pleasure to meet you both. You guys begin a conversation with him. I think that depending on now what seems to be what you want to do, Said, you could make a psychology roll.
Do I have psychology? Oh,
Wow.
That's a hard
Wow.
success.
that's lucky.
Very nice. You determine, after speaking with this guy, the three of you, of course, Felix, just eyes on the prize, right? His eyes are focused on that safe. Maaz sort of grumbling to himself. It's like, well, my dad was a really nice guy. I don't know why you don't know. And over time, Sayu using the kind student approach, you determine that this guy Hervio, he really just looks out for himself. He really doesn't care about police work and detective work. He's just there to get a paycheck at the end of the day. You determine that he could be easily bribed if given the right amount of money.
I'm looking sadly at the money that we were given.
Jonathan stands outside the room listening to this guy, and he's like, but my money.
Oh, this is 2 weeks' pay.
Monsieur Hervio, it might be a bit inappropriate for me to ask, but we're actually looking for something. Certain paperwork that was recovered from the German factory. And seeing you are a man of the world, maybe we could help each other out.
He smiles. He says, well, this paperwork, this dossier was found. It's of extreme importance to the Sûreté here in Casablanca. I can understand why you would want to have it. Monsieur, would you please shut the door? He motions over at you, Jonathan, since you're probably closest to the door.
I nod and shut the door.
He says, such things come with a price, of course, monsieur.
Of course, security of Morocco is pricey, but it is a price we are willing
I
to
care
pay.
not about security of Morocco, monsieur.
But you care about your own security, and I understand that very well.
He smiles.
So let's talk numbers.
I would be more than happy to say that it went misplaced. Is that what you say? Yes, it is misplaced. He sort of thinks in his head. He says, let us say 50 pounds.
Not a Jonathan raises his
Do we
eyebrows.
have 50 pounds?
I'd say amongst all of you, what is your credit rating? Like, who has the highest credit rating?
I have 80.
80 credit rating. Damn, dude.
I was going to say, is there a way to haggle him down a bit?
Make a haggling him.
I've got 40, so if we just...
I was going to go with the person who had the highest credit rating, but if you want to haggle him down, you can make a persuade roll. What would you say?
I would turn and say, dear sir, come on. You want to go ahead and keep this under wraps as much as we do, so let's say we go ahead and give you 40.
Make a persuade roll. I'm good with that. It's fine.
Okay. Let me see where my persuade. Hello, where are you? There. Oh.
I love when players are like, I want to do this, and then they look at the skill and they're like, why did I just choose this?
Oh, this is gonna be ugly.
It's cool. It's cool. The dice tell a story. Let's go. Okay, you're right. It was really
I
fucking
told
ugly.
the story, right?
It was super fucking ugly. Yeah. I mean, statistics, right? Right? He looks at you and he's like, Monsieur, clearly you do not have the money to back up your claims. 50 is what they are worth.
Maaz forks over the extra 10 pounds.
Well, here's the thing. If you have the, what's your credit rating, Maaz?
Where'd it go? 40.
Okay, 40 is decent enough. If you had something like a 20 or a 30, I would say you probably wouldn't have the cash on you to do it. Jonathan, do you give up the 40 pounds?
Yes. I mean, it's slow. There's a delay. Yeah. I hand what I was given.
Okay.
I'll check money in.
Very kind of you. Very kind of you. He smiles as he counts the currency on his desk, and he turns to the safe. He pulls out a set of keys from a keychain attached to his belt, and he opens this heavy-duty Liedman safe in the corner of the office with it. Sorry, he doesn't use keys. It would be a combination. Beg your pardon. And I would like those of you who are watching to make a spot hidden roll.
Oh, I'm watching him very carefully.
Go for it. Let's see what you get.
Nice.
None in the room, so of course I'm not going to see anything.
We were all standing in front of you.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm listening not very closely from outside.
I get it,
Yeah.
100%. Thank you, Voira. Saeed, with a hard success, as Hervio removes what you can assume to be the dossier from this safe, you see that there is a stack of Nazi Reichsmark currency inside it.
I look over to Jonathan and I
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
like motion like, look at that.
Okay.
He
And then
removes this stack of papers and he sets it on the desk in front of you.
What's this guy's name again?
Hervio. Colonel Maurice Hervio.
Okay. So there's just a bunch of German cash in the safe.
That's what he removed. Yeah, he saw the Reichsmark in the safe that he removed the dossier from. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Not back at Saeed.
The dossier seems to have three. It has a stunning number of papers in it, but three sort of main ones that jump to your attention. The first is a handout that I'm going to give to you, which looks like this. Very strange set of letters. Some kind of code, perhaps. The second page that you note are blueprints of some kind. As you can see that they sort of fold out, and you see that it's some kind of a truck, maybe, with treads and some kind of a weird, like, tower sticking out of the back. Words in German. Not quite sure what they mean, although, do any of you speak German?
Stahlrahmen is like steelwork.
That's
but
correct.
Gul Anan, I'm not quite sure.
That is correct. And then the last word, Turm Preach.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah. Very strange. And then the final page that you see is a photo, which looks like this. It is a page of a human anatomy with German words written all over them. You see that a metal pin has been stuck into the skull of this very unfortunate person. And you see a word that says Leichten Animation in German.
Oh, I can heavily deduce what that could all be. We've seen this already!
Sure have, which is why I won't make you roll a sanity check for you.
Okay.
And Colonel Hervio, as you guys look at these pages and sort of leaf through them, he says, I do not know what they mean. They are clearly the work of radical extremists, perverts.
It is obvious that it is in the best interest of everybody if these would disappear.
Very much so.
Is there a way of discerning whether he's being truthful to us?
You could make a psychology roll.
Okay. There it is. Yeah, just fail.
Yep.
I'm just gonna keep an eye on just like eyeing the room eyeing him and the room just to see if something doesn't seem right.
Make a spot hidden roll, Felix. Use luck. 2 points.
Yeah, I will use 2 points.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, you look at him, he's sort of tapping his fingers on the desk, and you spot next to his hand a couple of pieces of paper that seem to be orders to the Sûreté, and they are about, you sort of like read them upside down quickly, and you see that, and I'm just going to give you in brief, that the German insurrectionists have been sent to Bu Arfa internment camp.
I will definitely go ahead and remember that until after we're out of earshot. That does not look good and sound good.
I would like to take a look at those coded papers, since I have a certain talent to decode them.
Yes, you do have a talent, for sure.
So what, can I do a roll for that?
It would be, well, what talent, would you like to explain to the audience what talent you have?
Well, I have familiarity with the Enigma machine. I've studied communications for a semester at the university, and I've played around with some commercial version of the Enigma machine, so I would like to try my hand.
So for those of you not in the know, what the Enigma machine is, I mean, it's a relatively famous piece of spy gadgetry, probably one of the earliest of the 20th century that would be used for coding and decoding transmissions to and from a variety of sources, but mostly British intelligence. But the Enigma machine was actually used to decode Nazi communiques eventually, and there's a really great movie about it. I can't remember. I think it's just called Enigma. But the whole concept is that without the machine itself, you wouldn't be able to decode this particular coded message. But
That
you
is
are familiar.
absolutely right.
It does look like an Enigma code.
So at least that information I can gather
Yes,
from looking at it.
I would say so. So I think with that, considering you now have obtained the dossier Mönch, congratulations. Felix, after you have all exited Colonel Hervio's office, is there anything that you perhaps might want to say to your group here?
I did see a couple of words about an internment camp whilst he was distracted on a piece of paper near his hand. I think there might be something going on than what he's leading on. Should be very careful.
Yes, he had witch marks in his safe.
Yeah, he did. And there's German Enigma codes in the dossier, so combine that with the Nazi flag we discovered in the basement.
He knows more than he's letting on.
We should
Think
definitely
so.
bring this up to the lieutenant.
I think might be a good idea.
Shall we?
So I would say, if you are so inclined, you can leave the Anfa district and head back, if you wish, to the Hotel Transatlantique and speak with our friend.
Enrique.
Yes,
Enrique.
yes, Mr. X. Shall we call him? So, yeah, I mean, you probably head back to the hotel, speak to Enrique X, and speak about what you found. Show him these pictures. Show him the documentation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mention the internment camp?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was about to go ahead and discuss with the group if they would want to.
Moss is like, yes, I do.
Get in the door.
He's like, yes, I take it, and I will roll initiative. I'm in the right game. God damn it!
And tell him about the Deutschmarks in the safe and
Okay, cool. Yeah, X says to you, I had no idea that he was allied with the Nazis, but then again, so many people here in Casablanca seem to be turning to the wrong side of things. They believe in so many things that years ago I would never have thought people could say or do. Such hatred people have in the world for the things that they are afraid of. It shows the wrong side of humanity. I fear for the future. But to the point. Bu Arfa internment camp is approximately 300 kilometers to the east of Casablanca. If you wish, you could take a train there, but the internment camp is specifically for German nationals that have been remanded from Casablanca and the neighboring cities, of course, because of the war. Many of you do not look, no offense, Germanic in nature, if you wish to infiltrate this particular place.
Do you know much about this internment camp?
I do. I know that it is filled with approximately anywhere between 75 to 100 German nationals. and it is a work and labor camp. There are no guards, because it is so far from civilization. How would one be able to leave? So, the prisoners are essentially set to their own devices and monitor themselves. Therefore, there is no need to have any kind of guards at all within the premises.
No guards? Then what's preventing them from leaving?
The desert.
Valid point. Well, does everyone
So
feel
there's
like going for a lovely
Just
trek?
going it.
I think we need to. I think there is a growing danger. And it might be starting there.
So is there a train station?
There is. There's a train station, there's a railway train station actually just north of your position that you could take the train to the east. I think probably the closest city, if I have the map on hand, which I believe I do. The closest city... Oh, actually, I don't have a map. I have a handout. I have a handout map of the entire place of Morocco. Here we go. Let me show you guys.
Woohoo.
There we go. So that's the entire area of Morocco. Casablanca is actually to the western part of Morocco. And Bouarfa is to the east. So you could take the train to the closest place, which would be actually Fez, just west of the Atlas Mountains. You could hire a car or perhaps a caravan from there, and then make the trip through the Atlas Mountains to Bouarfa.
Travel time from Fez to Bouarfa?
Depends. By car?
By car.
Perhaps 3 to 4 days. By caravan? Less. I mean, more time. Probably a week.
We have to
Probably
cross the
hire a car.
mountains. Yeah. We're attacked, right?
The Atlas Mountains, he says, yes, it was atop the Atlas Mountains that I was indeed subjected to some rather horrific experiences.
Will you be
And
coming with
there's-
us?
Oh, certainly not.
Well, I guess let's
This
hop
Bouarfa.
a train.
What was that, Jonathan?
Would this be where the Otto and Max would be now?
I'm sorry.
The owner
You mentioned the
textile.
name. Sorry?
The owners of the textile factory, Otto and Max.
What were their last names?
Schnabel.
Schnabel.
When you say Otto and Max Schnabel, he sort of like takes in an intake of breath. He says, Verruchte Doktor. He says 2 words in German.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Those of you who can speak German can make a German roll if you have it as one of your languages.
9. That's the extent.
I'm gonna push that.
Okay. Ooh.
Ah,
Yeah, this word
feel it
not only
coming.
slips from your mind, Saeed, you don't understand the second set of words that he says as well. So he says, Verruchte Doktor, and then he says, Verruchte Mechaniker. So you don't understand anything that comes out of Legionnaire X's mouth when he says these 4 words, in association with these 2 names, Otto and Max Schnabel.
I'm not familiar with the term.
I'm sorry, Lieutenant. Can you say that in a language that we can understand?
Apologies, I do not speak this language. It is simply names that I was told that they were called. They were called I do not understand what the meanings of these words are. I am not a fluent speaker of German. Spanish is actually my native language. But I was told that these are very dangerous people. They are brothers, twin brothers.
And what were the words that you called him again?
I was told that one is Verruchter Doktor. I assume that, although I don't know German very much, that Doktor simply means doctor. The other one, Verruchter Mechaniker. I'm assuming something to do with mechanics. I am not a linguist.
They were trying to bring the dead to life, Maaz, so I imagine it's in relation to that.
I can only assume.
And now they are unsupervised in the desert.
Very much so.
This is what concerns me.
Exactly.
Very well. At least we know what we're up against.
Do we, though?
I'm not so sure.
There's a nervous laughter from Jonathan.
We're up against evil.
Legionnaire X looks at you, Jonathan, specifically, and he says, my friend, you have a job here. You have a stable life. Why would you wish to give all this up to travel to the east, to an unknown and very dangerous area of the world?
I guess there's something about the thrill of the hunt. I imagine, yes. I want to see this to the end. I want to see this through.
Maaz slaps him on the back and says, "Now you're getting it."
I think Jonathan winces a little bit from the slap.
Yeah, it's like it travels down into your knee, and you're just like, ah!
Little hobble forwards.
Amazing.
Thank you, Maaz. Not so hard next time. Thank you.
The right thing to do is seldom the easy thing to do. But the right thing to do is always the better option.
Legionnaire X looks at you, Voira, and says, "Spoken like a true lawyer."
Well,
Or idealist, I don't know, whatever you want.
well, it sounds like everyone is determined, and me going along won't. Well, I guess the sense of adventure is also seems to be tingling in my boots. So, well, let's make tracks to Voira.
And with that, you decide to exit the Hotel Transatlantique and board the train to Fez. And as you reach the railway station, where is it? Here we go. Yeah, there we go. So you reach the railway station. You find yourself at the actual rail. You see people are moving to and fro. You buy your tickets. You board. So you see the train. You see the conductor who speaks in 3 different languages. He speaks in French. He speaks in German. He speaks in Arabic. All 3, all aboard. Train to Fez. All aboard.
Well, no turning back
on.
now.
Onward with the adventure.
How what the pronunciation of that word that we couldn't understand? Veruca?
Verruchter.
Verruchter.
Yeah, Verruchter.
I'll just ask this person who spoke a bit of German, and I'll say, can you pronounce this word for us? I've heard some people being saying this word around town, and I have been having a hard time understanding it.
You say that to who do you say that to?
The person, the conductor.
Oh, nice. Fantastic. Oh, wow, I like that. Yeah, he looks at the word. He's like, yes, monsieur. Verruchte. It is German, yes.
What does it mean? Because is it a shop? Is it a place?
He laughs. He's like, no, monsieur. It is not a shop. It is a German word. It means, and the sound of the blast of steam comes out the top just as he's about to say it, and he says, "It means insane."
Insane. Ah! I must have been hearing people saying something that must be insane. Oh, thank you so much.
The insane doctor and the insane mechanic.
That tracks.
All aboard! All aboard!
For the crazy train.
On we go.
Where we're going?
Of
Of course.
Until I spent all my money on that product.
Amazing.
I mean, it is.
Yeah, so off you go. Let's just make that a red line, not a yellow line. There we go. To the railway station and to Fez. And I think that what we see as you all board the train and the train passes out of Casablanca and the camera pans up into the brilliant sky of Morocco, is we see almost as if the sun itself, like a lens flare, almost like the sun itself has twinned itself, almost like there are two suns. One sun that is brilliant, and one sun that is pitch black. And that, my friends, is where we will stop tonight's episode of The Blessed and the Blasphemous Le Dossier Mönch. The rest of this amazing scenario you will be able to play yourself when you kickstart this thing, which I certainly fucking did, that's for sure. And find out what lies ahead at the Blue Arfa internment camp. What are the meanings of all of these horrific documents and the things that they portray? And what is the final destination for all of these 5 intrepid investigators?
Gateway to hell.
Insanity.
Insanity, here we come. Choo choo! Amazing. Thank you guys all so very, very much for playing with us tonight. I'm so absolutely tickled pink to have such a crazily awesome crew of Call of Cthulhu players. Hey, is there anything you guys want to say before we say goodnight?
Thanks for hosting. It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah,
Good.
the scenario is
It was
amazing.
fun.
It's super fun.
It is.
I am really curious to find out where it goes.
Absolutely.
Super cool characters as well.
Aren't
Really good
they?
characters.
They're really great. Really well fleshed out. The art is gorgeous. I can't wait to have my hands lovingly wrapped around this great book. That's it for tonight, though, folks. But go ahead. Sorry.
Just waiting for it.
You're just waiting for it
on
too?
your fingers. Yeah, no, you're waiting for it on your
Oh,
tip of
I'm
your
waiting
finger.
for it. Hey, listen. Call of Cthulhu plus Nazis equals thumbs ups from me. That's all I gotta say.
It's really not a very far stretch. It's
I think
right
you
there.
mentioned like Hellboy. Like there's some serious Hellboy vibes. I'm down for it.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's it for tonight, folks. Just as a reminder, the Kickstarter opened on April 8th. It closes on May 8th. So if you guys have a chance to, please go ahead and Kickstart it. Please do so. They've already gotten like far and above what their original Kickstarter goal was, but they have some stretch goals as well, I think, and they could use it because their team is just fantastic. So without further ado, I will say goodnight to you all. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, folks, as we say here on Slices and Dices, take care of each other, but don't forget to take care of yourselves. Have a good night. We'll see you all soon.
Right.
Bye.
Good night.
Guys.